Yeah, you're not live.
All right, I think it's gonna take this time. Hello, everybody. There we go.
There
All right,
you go.
I hit it
There
again.
we go.
I just had to stop and start again.
There we
Okay.
go. Destiny?
No, you shut your mouth about Destiny.
Destiny.
No one cares, Christian.
See, nobody
Yeah.
cares.
See?
You can't just tell me
Nobody
the truth
cares
like that.
about Destiny? Damn.
Hey, you guys
We got
hear?
Christian here.
See, nobody cares.
What's that guy's name? The
Dotson.
Dotson. We got Dotson here. See? Nobody cares.
Is Jurassic Park starting to become a dated reference, you think, Mike? I mean, not the...
I mean, it definitely has to be, I guess. Sure. But I mean,
let's
I don't
see.
know. It's weird for us. We have so many. We have to hang around all these young people.
Yeah,
Maybe
these
if we
disgusting
hung around
young
people
people.
our age, it wouldn't seem so
Ooh.
dated.
This is where I say Jurassic Park came out before I was born, Jeff.
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
did.
you disgusting child.
you wouldn't have been that old when it came out.
No, I was, what, 11 to 10?
Teenager?
93, 94, Mike.
24.
93.
I was pretty young. I didn't see it in theaters.
10.
For some reason, my parents
10,
did take
okay.
me to see The Lost World, even though I didn't want to, because I thought it would be scary. And it was. That one man was ripped in half, and it
Hell
traumatized
yeah.
me. Yeah.
What?
scared.
Come. Okay. I'm not gonna say anything.
What?
Well, you just
That
did by
movie's
not by saying...
scary.
A guy gets ripped in half alive.
Yeah, but it's
funny.
like,
Oh, it's a funny
ridiculous.
It's campy, Mike.
joke. Oh my god.
No,
You guys will literally have a movie where
Oh
a
my
guy
God.
begs for his life while head explodes. Like, that's campy.
Oh,
Campy. Everything's campy.
that actually could be campy, but
Yeah,
I'm
great.
I'm still uploading my Play It Forward with Rory today to Google Drive. This is 23 minutes left, so if we have any internet issues, it's probably that. But I'm not going to stop that upload. It's been going all day. Okay, I think I have this. Let me get Stream Elements open, and then we'll be good to start.
Cool.
Stream Elements
Cool.
dashboard.
the new characters in Destiny are tall. They're like 3 meters tall.
I like that one that looks like a mommy and a daddy.
oh,
Yes, Nimbus.
Probably.
Love them.
Jeremy G already had a very good super chat.
All right, activity feed. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, I believe I am ready to go. Yes, I'm ready to go. How about you, Mike? You good?
Yes, sir.
If
Destiny 2's been good.
All right, get out of here.
go play your Destiny 2, you
Yeah,
freak.
sounds so
Yeah,
good.
it's
Go
gonna
play
chat.
it.
All right, I'm gonna count us in, Mike, and we're gonna go in
Yes, sir.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog,
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
and we are the last of the Nintendogs.
Woof, 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 woof.
Today, let's talk about Pokemon Presents and sleeping. Also, Nintendo confirms it won't be at E3, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie is coming out early by 2 days. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Still sick, but better today than I was yesterday. But also today, it's Tuesday. It's my long day with work and then the shows. But also, I really like Tuesdays because I could do the Bombcast and Last of the Nintendogs. And it's the podcast where I just show up and look pretty and other
There you
people
go.
host. And so I can kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I had a big day too. I had we did the Game Club right before this, and my big Final Fantasy 16 preview went up today.
Yes, I did. That's where you were at the other week when you couldn't do the show. You were in New York playing
I
Final
was in
Fantasy
New York.
16.
And surprise, that's what I was doing. I was playing Final Fantasy 16. But yeah, it's been so long since like I went on a trip to preview a single video game. Then I wrote up the big preview, and it was for this game I'm really interested in. So yeah, it was a lot of fun until I had to get on Twitter and promote it and just say the truth.
I mean, as soon as I saw you start tweeting about this, and you could say what you tweeted about here in a second, I'm like, uh-oh for Mikey.
I just like I'm not trying to be like clickbaity.
You're not trying to be like I was, which is to purposefully annoy these people. You are just trying to illuminate them about the game.
The game reminds me of God of War, so I said, hey, read my preview, find out why it reminds me of God of War. And some people lost their minds. Now, some of them are. There's a lot of Final Fantasy fans, Jeff, who have been upset that the main games, have not been turn-based since Final Fantasy 12. Remember Final Fantasy 12, which basically just did the KOTOR thing?
Yes.
Of, like, you run around, and then every 10 seconds you do an auto attack, and you can select commands. Like, at this point, that is so practically just exactly what Final Fantasy VI is. It's hilarious now that people got mad at that.
Right. God.
The 13 had a bunch of other reasons people were mad at it, but like people got mad about 15. They're mad about 7 at first. I think a lot of people came around on that one, but we knew this was going to be an action game. But yeah, while it was like 15 and 7 remake definitely had like, oh okay, you could kind of still see like some of that Final Fantasy RPG stuff like kind of there, especially with remake. This is really straight up character action game. And yeah, I see a lot of people compare it to Devil May Cry, and it has a combat director who worked on that series, and I do get that comparison. But the whole time I was playing it, and I played the game for about 3 hours or so. The whole time I was playing it, I was like, man, this is reminding me of something specific, because I had like these cooldown abilities that were tied to different stances, so you kind of switch between the stances, like Kratos does with his weapons. I had a dog who I could issue commands to as a companion, which was kind of like Atreus. And then when it was when I was talking to Yoshida in the group interview, and I actually asked him a different question. I was asking him about the kind of structure of the game and how side quests work. He's like, well, yeah, but he said straight up, it's like God of War. You have this hub area, and then you can kind of go to different areas. And when he said that was like God of War, that's when this light bulb went off. And I was like, man, a lot of this is actually like God of War. You're walking with people, they kind of talking to you in between these fights. There wasn't anything like environmental puzzle solving, and I don't think that's going to be a part of the main game.
Right, you're not going to have an axe that freezes things that keeps the door open. Sure.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of that. And to be clear, like it's not. Of course, this isn't a 1-to-1 comparison.
Yeah, it's a Final Fantasy game still.
Yeah, but it's a
sure.
Yeah, but the combat is faster. I will say this is definitely the biggest divergence from just straight up turn-based action, even more so than say an MMO is.
Well, sure. I mean, it is a character action game now. That is
character action game.
Everything I've heard, it's a character action game now. Get used to it. I mean, they're bristling against the box that I think they feel Final Fantasy's been put in. I saw a couple of stories. One where Yoshida basically said, we thought JRPG was a derogatory term when we first heard it.
That's a whole other can of worms.
Well, I'm like, when I'm thinking about the timeline, maybe they were thinking like the Phil Fish stuff. And it's like, maybe that's when that was happening. Okay, so maybe I can kind of get where they're coming from a little bit.
I mean, I kind of imagine if you are, American and you were making, real-time strategy games and you found out the country that's best known for them, I don't know, called your real-time strategy games American real-time strategy games. Like, why do ours have an asterisk, right?
Yes, totally.
But that's not really what I don't.
No,
think
and the PlayStation
really
itself has like a JRPG like category in its store. It is not what. Yeah, it's not the intent clearly. Although yes, I can see where he's coming from. But it's like they're bristling against that because they don't want to be held to the rigid standards of what the game is supposed to be. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they got the people with lineage that links back to Devil May Cry, and now they're making a game that's like Devil May Cry and God of War. Like that sounds, yeah. I think they want this game to be huge, and they're spending a lot of money on it. They're making all the choices to make it seem big and important, and I think that it naturally sort of brings you to this sort of game. I think.
Right. I just want to say, and I know this isn't Nintendo, guys. Bear with me a little bit because it was a big trip of mine, but and I want to talk about it while it's still really timely. But look, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. It was very, it's very flashy, and that almost sounds like, ooh, flashy. What are you saying? Like it's all sizzle, no steak. That's always been a big part of Final Fantasy ever since like the opera scene, the extravagant summon animations in Final Fantasy 7, like 8 and 9. And, this stuff it's doing that stuff really well. I do like that darker tone. I texted Jeff almost immediately after I finished my demo, because it is very much it's my Game of Thrones, and I got mad at him before when he said that. The one guy, I thought it may have just been the voice actor for the Hound. It's not. It just sounds like it. But still, like, yeah, okay. The boss you fight. She says "fuck" twice in anger.
Whoa!
Like, wow, whoa.
Whoa!
Yeah, the game is taking itself very seriously, which I kind of like. I wonder how that's gonna rub people when you don't do silly bullshit. It's sometimes the silly
that was the other thing.
It's pretty fun. Yeah,
that was the other story I was reading, where he was asked about Blitzball, and he's basically like, "We're not doing bullshit like that. This is a serious game about revenge. There's no time for Blitzball." And then he's like, "And what? Your character Clive is going after revenge. What is he gonna be like? And now I'm gonna go fishing." So, oh no, fishing minigame. Now you're cutting too close to home. I love my fishing minigames. You leave them alone, and by that I mean put them in your goddamn game, Yoshida. I don't think he's gonna listen to me.
No, but even said like, oh, like story quests, they aren't like fetch quests. They're like, just as they're big story things, these side missions where you learn more about characters, and it's like, oh, that sounds like God of War.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a hunt board, which is like something from Final Fantasy 12 where you can fight optional bosses and stuff like that. The interesting thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is how difficulty works in the game, because there's not really a difficulty setting. When you start the game, you have all these accessories just in your inventory, and they will do certain things automatically for you. Like if you're bad at dodging, the one will just have you automatically dodge whenever an attack comes your way. One will have you automatically use potions. There are 2 difficulty settings. Like there is like a story mode one. All it does is just automatically have some of those equipped when you start the game. Again, they start in your inventory otherwise, and you can just you can put them on, you can put them off whenever you want, whichever way you start with. So that's really interesting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's feels like some of those things that are things you can equip should just be options in the menu, but whatever. I
think it's interesting because I don't know, because there's like a slight trade-off then where, well, you can't put on the +10 strength thing, I guess, if you're doing that. So you get some kind of benefit.
You're right, and you probably don't need the +10 strength thing if you're doing that, right? So
sure.
So okay, so then it kind of just works out fine. But I think there are people who'd be like, "Oh, this is an accessibility setting for me," but whatever. We can wait till the game's out to have those conversations. Where this is not the time. So you're still really excited about it, and it seems like, regardless of all the anxiety that was inevitable when these previews come out, because people are going to hone in on the one sentence that makes them feel the most terrified about this game, that they have a lot of hopes and dreams about. Most of the reactions have been very positive. That's been my big takeaway.
Almost all the previews are like, yes, I really liked it, and then like people are freaking out in my comments, Jeff. Some of them are mad at me specifically. Like, what did I'm just telling you. Yep. Like, well, this person said that's like Devil May Cry. I'm like, okay. Like, they're right also. I think it's more like God of War. You can tell me what you think when you play it. But yeah, again, some of that is just people who are just going to be mad at the idea that it's an action game, which is something I feel like we've had time to prepare for a while here. But, whatever. It's fine. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to do well. I'm excited. Please read my preview at GamesBeat. I enjoyed writing that up. I still think that heel mutt is a very funny joke, Jeff, and you can't take that away from me.
Here's the big problem with it, Mike. You've only told me about how it's a great joke, and you've never actually just said the joke.
Well, I thought you would, and instead you used it as an excuse to slight me.
It's not
and embarrass me instead of just actually trying to deliver the joke in a way that made me look good.
It's not slander if it's true.
It's not. It's a good joke. We can't ask people in this chat because of course they're going to tell me that I'm actually stupid and funny. That's their favorite thing to do. So, yeah. What about Mog of War? Did you like Mog of War?
I do like Mog of War. Of course, I like Mog of War. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about Nintendo.
Okay.
Please read the preview, everybody. Okay. Jeff, the Pokemon Presents happened yesterday morning. There's quite a few things there. I don't know if we need to talk about everything. I do want to get your just general vibe on it. I was not super impressed. But yeah, well, here's the thing. We talked about what we were expecting from it, and we said the very base minimum is info about the DLC. And like, I guess we got that. And if you don't know, it's it's called the Treasure of Area Zero. The first part is coming out in fall, the Teal Mask, and then the second part is coming out winter 2023,
which is right now, as Jesse Vitelli pointed out on the Bombcast today. We're in winter
Yeah, I don't think
2023 right this second.
I don't think that's what they mean.
I don't think that's what they
the
mean either.
Indigo disc. So very similar setup to what we had with Sword and Shield. Although it seems like these two are more like equal parts, whereas last time they're kind of clear about one of those being smaller than the other.
Right.
And for one of these coming out in the fall, like all they did was zoom around some key art, Jeff, and gave us like a little story synopsis. They did not have anything to show.
Yeah. Can we just skip to the 4chan thing? Have you heard about this?
What? No. What?
There was a 4chan post that detailed the entire Pokemon Presents before it came out. It was complete.
This was on 4chan. I know what you're talking about.
It was completely accurate. And then the last line said, because they said they're a support studio for Pokemon Company or whatever. And the last line said, with DLC 2, they are working on a graphics upgrade patch to go along with the new Nintendo Switch model.
Jesus Christ. Somehow Nintendo Switch Pro returned.
Yes, somehow somehow it has returned once again. I think there's a million ways in which you could read that as, okay, yeah, maybe, I mean, listen, the new Nintendo Switch model, like it might just be a different version of the same exact hardware once again, and the graphics patch is actually just fixing the game on the current Switch, or they're going to get the game upgraded for an eventual Nintendo Switch upgrade that will come down the line, not necessarily launching at the same time as DLC 2. But, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Look, I want to say it's weird they didn't talk about improving the game's performance, but of course, in like the show where the guy's talking next to a robot Pikachu, whatever, they're not going to be like, by the way, since the game runs like shit, we're also working on making that better. They did also release a patch that day that apparently had no performance improvements, which is weird. There's a part of me, Jeff, that actually just does not. I don't expect them to ever make performance improvements. Like, why would they? Honestly?
I mean, I definitely don't. Like, people pointed out, oh, well, like, you know, when you're 10 feet away, a Pokemon's running at 12 frames per second. They're going to fix that. Like, no, they don't view that as a bug. They're never going to fix that. That is just the way the game is always going to work. But I mean, a graphics improvement patch to go along with a new Switch. I mean, part of me buys into that because I think a lot of games are going to need to have patches to work with the new Switch one way or the other. So why not do upgrades at the same time? But I don't know. This is it is just kind of almost more frustrating than anything else to hear this yet again. Hear more evidence that a new Switch is happening yet again. I will say, like, unconfirmed, I haven't been able to verify it. This is like, I'm once again hearing yes later this year don't go write your headlines, please, because it's like I can't verify it, so you would just be going on a rumor of a rumor. But it's like, man, why do things have to start lining up in that direction yet again? Because it feels like Nintendo doesn't even necessarily know. I think they do know they will one day have some sort of Switch follow-up. So why wouldn't the Pokemon Company get this game ready? Because they're going to want to keep selling this game on that system. And I think that once they have both the DLCs out, they would likely repackage that game as one thing with all the DLC, sell that version, and that's the version that can go on the new Switch or be like labeled as for the new Switch and, you know, sell for years on there. All that makes a lot of sense. And you would do that work when you're doing that DLC so that you could just have it ready to go, even if that system's not ready to go. So I'm like, regardless of what I'm hearing, I still feel like there's a million reasons why this is not necessarily meaning that we're going to get a new Switch in winter of 2023.
It just seems so hard to believe because it seems like we have more build up by now if we were getting Switch 2. It just doesn't seem like that's something that can come out this year. And then
I think it could get announced this year still, but I don't think it's coming out this year.
It could just get announced, I guess. But like, I guess my thing is we are so far beyond getting a half measure, right? Whatever the next Switch is, it's got to be kind of a big jump. And I have this hard time believing that's what we're getting at the end of this year. It'd be awesome if it was, but I just feel like I want to say there'd be more flags. Maybe there have been flags and we are kind of just dismissing them. Maybe Activision talking about bringing Call of Duty to Switch as a flag. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like actually what we're going to end up getting is instead of a half measure, a 75% measure. I think we get some Super Switch that actually is mostly an upgrade, but Nintendo kind of almost treats it like a half measure to bring forward all of the momentum of the Switch. I think that's just a distinct possibility, but we'll see.
It is certainly the only way I can see them actually making graphical improvements to Scarlet and Violet is if there's new hardware, because then it's kind of easier for them, right?
Right. Then they have
could
some
just-
overhead to work with instead of having to like increase their optimization, which they seem completely incapable of doing.
All right, we are somehow back on Switch Pro. Watch.
Always and forever.
Yep. All right, a couple other things just about this Pokemon Presents. Pokemon Sleep was talked about again. It came back. It is a
But it's not out yet.
game?
Still, it's
not out
still
yet.
coming out. It's still coming out later. Like not even a release date.
Right, it's not quite ready. They got to really work on understanding what sleep is. I mean, what it monitors how you sleep to hear you snoring, and then like puts Pokemon next to you that maybe snore like you do.
I mean, that's how I understand it to work. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, it seems weird and stupid. Mike, I think it's because it's weird and stupid. I don't know.
yeah, I think you might be right. I don't know. God, I don't need Pokemon to tell me that I snore. I know that I snore. It's fine.
And it even like works like Sean says. It's like other sleep apps. It works like the ones I've seen where you start it and you put the phone face down so the light doesn't bleed, but then it keeps it awake so it can monitor, so it can keep the microphone on and all that stuff. And it's so it seems like it works that way, that same exact way. And then it's just that's all that's really happening is the microphone is listening. Maybe there's some other stuff like LiDAR. I don't know. I don't have an iPhone. But it's probably just your microphone. So I would assume that they just have some algorithm that matches you up depending on what noises you're making and what frequencies you have. Basically, you are a human Monster Rancher video game now. And so it's like your snoring is like putting a CD into the PlayStation to create new monsters in Monster Rancher. That's what's happening.
Jeff, they talked about a Pokemon Go Plus, and I was so overwhelmed by that name. I don't think I was able to pay attention to what it actually is.
Yeah, I'm like, say the full name, because every time I've heard this, I think I let it go immediately out of my head. Like, that can't be right.
Pokemon Go Plus. Plus, the first time is written out. The second one is the symbol, but we pronounce it Pokemon Go Plus.
Okay, and is there a little device that goes with it that also has pluses
like that
on
thing
it?
That looks like a Pokeball and it has like a button on it. I forget what the Pokemon Go Plus does, to be honest. I know it was a thing that they sold people who play that game, but this is gonna work with Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep. Yeah, it looks like a hockey puck, Sean says. That's correct. So there's that. Let's not talk about it anymore.
I'm just gonna say George Orwell is turning in his grave. He said this would happen to language. Anyhow, you can move on.
There's a new Pokemon show coming to Netflix, Pokemon Concierge. Can you imagine your kids being like, Daddy, we want to watch Pokemon Concierge?
I can imagine it. They have very good vocabulary.
It'd be very funny, very cute.
Yes, they would still struggle to say it.
I wasn't calling your kids out, Jeff, all right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they will stumble saying it. I mean, I'll stumble saying it, but yes, it'll be very cute. It looks fun.
Yeah, sure. The thing that excites me as a boomer Pokemon fan is this classic Pokemon card set coming. It's like it looks just like it's like the original Pokemon cards, the ones that I remember. I remember the base set, and then I think the next one after that was Jungle, then Fossil, and then Team Rocket, and then after that I was already done. But yeah, like this thing looks like it's gonna be way too expensive. It comes in like a really nice case. The cards have a special back. I bet I'll like play with it 1 or 2 times, and I still kind of really want it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to, and I never had Pokemon cards. It looks slick. It looks slick and cool and expensive, and I think it'd be fun. I think that's the way I would only ever want to engage with Pokemon cards this way.
Sean says $250, and I still.
That's way better than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I thought it was going to be like $3.99.
If it came with every card from the base set, and you can make your
I think it does, right?
Well, the kind of the problem though is the way Pokemon works is you need more than one of each card. Sometimes
it seems like there's enough to
read above. It's not the original; it's cards throughout the years plus new ones. Says Sean. Thank you, Sean. Interesting, but I do like the idea of it almost being more of a deck builder than a collecting thing. Like I don't have to go buy packs. Here are all the cards we can play with. Make your decks. It comes with 3 decks. Yeah, even when I would get quote unquote back into Pokemon cards every now and then, I wouldn't buy booster packs. I would go buy 2 of the starter sets and I would just play with people. So there you go.
So instead of classic, it's more like a best of.
I bet it's leaning towards the early. I mean, in the trailer, they very
Sure.
heavily featured the classic Charizard card, and I think I saw what Bill and like a lot of these things that I recognize. Again, like if it's like from the jungle and fossil sets, that'll be fine with me. But I hope it's not like EX Grandmaster Sun Moon XL trainer packs. You know?
Yeah, terrestrialize these nuts.
Yeah. Thank you for putting it so nicely, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. But that's the big thing. There's some updates to the MOBA and Pokemon Master ZX and what have you. No NSO games. No Pokemon Red or
Yeah,
Blue
because we don't deserve
or
good
Yellow.
things.
Yeah, that is just kind of messed up. If they actually think that like Pokemon Red and Blue, those like original ROMs are too good for us, or if they just can't figure out how to, you know what? If you can't figure out how to make it work with stuff like Pokemon Bank and Stadium, who cares? Just put it out. Explain, yeah, this is just a singular, insular thing. You're not moving these Pokemon anywhere. Just treat it like it's an RPG. I don't know, but I don't know, Jeff. It seems kind of weird to me. Maybe it's still coming, but like when is it going to get announced now? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I suppose if we like now wrap back around to that post and then and think about like what would Nintendo's rest of the year look like if they are going to have some sort of hardware announcement. Maybe that's why E3 doesn't fit in, because they're going to do announce some new hardware after that. Like, then do they have announcements like Nintendo Switch Online ready to go alongside that, or is that saved for like one of those tweets / YouTube video drops that they had throughout the summer last year? Maybe they could do that, or maybe they don't just ever put Pokemon on Nintendo Switch Online ever at all.
Right. I mean, so we're getting the Pokemon trading card game, right? So maybe we'll get the super spin-off-y things, I guess.
Well, yes, yeah, right. That's
yeah,
yes.
I know what you mean.
Yes, I meant the main line.
Speaking of Nintendo at E3, it did confirm it won't be at E3 in a statement.
Where did it say this?
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
GameSpeak. Yeah, how about
Interesting.
that? Yeah, they said, we approach our involvement in any event on a case-by-case basis and are always considering various ways to engage with our fans. Since this year's E3 show didn't fit into our plans, we have made the decision to not participate. However, we have been and continue to be a strong supporter of the ESA and E3. That last little sentence there sure is having your cake and eating it. Right? Like, nah, we're not going to that, but we like love them.
I need to look and see if some of my ex-girlfriends work at Nintendo, because this sounds like every person that's ever broken up with me.
Yeah, oh no.
It's me, not you. It's
Right,
us.
exactly.
So we're going through a lot right now. We still fully support you and everything you're going through, but we need to not do it right now. So it's pretty fun. I mean, I think that Nintendo probably does have some specific ideas about what the second half of this year is going to look like, but they also sound like they're breaking up with E3.
Mm-hmm. I think people are pointing out, oh, they're going to PAX, right? Yeah, but I think everyone's expectations for Nintendo at PAX are very small. People's expectations for Nintendo at E3 would be pretty big, even though they had that one year where they basically just sent the treehouse, right? So I get either kind of to go all in or not at all. And I don't, it's such a weird time, Jeff. I mean, I woke up today and it was like, hey, Elden Ring DLC was announced in a tweet.
3 a.m.
Like, okay, that's seems like one of the biggest deals of the year. And that just happened on a tweet. So, what is all this anymore?
Right. I think that's exact. And, Nintendo wasn't doing anything E3 or Summer Game Fest last year. They didn't even have a June Direct. So they'll probably just end up doing a lot of what they did last year.
All right. And then the Super Mario Brothers movie is now releasing 2 days earlier in the US on April 5th. So it's coming out on Wednesday instead of a Friday. I know it's kind of nice. Like me and my brothers, like maybe we'll all go a Wednesday night, just the boys, and then we'll bring all the kids on Friday. But
there you go.
Yeah. So something like that. That's interesting. Why do you think they bothered doing that?
They were probably getting out of the way of. Hang on, I'm trying to find a movie. Boss Baby 5. Let's see. Death of the Haunting of Sharon Tate. Man, there's some weird movies coming out on April 5th. The New Pet Cemetery. No, this is from 2019. It's not easy to search what movies are coming. No. I don't know. They probably just think that they can get that long 5-day weekend numbers and really just crush it. And I think they are probably right. What they're probably seeing is that the early demand for tickets is really high.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. I think they know. Yeah, you can just sell more. You can maybe even get a few more of that adult audience, and there will be plenty of that because it's Mario.
Shit.
It's generations that love it.
I'm
What you
trying
say
to-
shit for?
I'm just like trying to think. Like we were supposed to go. I guess we'll probably just still see it whenever we were going to see it because I'm going to be out.
Are you really gonna go like opening night?
Yeah. Well, we're going to be out. We're going to go to Super Nintendo World in early April.
Who's we? Because it's not me.
Yes, I am going with my coworkers.
Wow.
And there is a we're gonna go see the movie, and then we were gonna react to it. I guess we'll probably still just do that, and then go to Super Nintendo World the next day. So
That's fine. I'll go with my brothers. We'll actually like it and not complain about Chris Pratt the whole
Oh
time.
my god, I bet they're. Well, that's right. No, it's. I'm like, no, you're right. AJ won't complain, so never mind.
No,
You're
you know,
right.
I definitely won't
No,
complain.
definitely won't.
He'll say it's the greatest thing ever. I had somebody in my replies, all the people getting mad about the God of War thing. Somebody was saying that God of War is the Chris Pratt of video games. I don't really know what they mean. I feel like it could maybe feel like God of War has influenced everything. Are there really that many God of War likes?
No, absolutely not. It's just the game people played 5 years ago that wasn't like Breath of the Wild, or it's the thing they played right after Breath of the Wild that like is influencing a lot of people. Like its influence is going to be a lot of places. It was a very big game that sold very well. Yeah, and like someone sent me. I'll have to find the link. I'll try to put this in the show notes. But someone's like, hey, yeah, to back up what Mike heard. I didn't ask about it. And then he started talking about God of War, Yoshida, and he said how he imported the first, like not the 2018, the very first God of War, because he wanted to play it a year early before it got imported or before it got localized in Japan. So he's been a God of War fan going all the way back. I'm like, yeah, it's an influential franchise.
Jeff, I've been even afraid to say this.
Oh hell yes, say
Final
it.
Fantasy 16 has QTEs.
Ooh, baby.
I don't
Oh,
even wanna
baby,
say
let's
that 'cause people
go.
freaking out.
I'm so excited for this whole 4-month wait. You guys are going to tear each other apart. I can't wait.
Look, there's not much. It's basically just push the attack button, push the dodge button, like during some of these longer kind of, I don't even know if I can call them cutscenes, but moments, and you push those buttons. So yeah, like every action game basically, but people are gonna freak out. That's specifically
of course.
This is a Final Fantasy.
They're gonna imagine the worst case scenario.
Exactly.
It's
They're gonna
yes.
just freak out.
Yep, everyone's
It's fine.
anxiety. Like God, other people are just so willing to put their anxieties on other people. It's
I know,
wild.
They're freaking out. It is like pretty much a glowing preview, but still the reviews are a lot. My prize, a lot of people like, well, no, I'm not excited anymore.
I'm like,
Okay, that's
yeah.
fine. Like,
That's-
don't care
I guess
how you
that's your
feel
choice.
about it. I'm not trying to sell you this game. I'm just telling you. But if that's one thing really throws you off that much, it's fine. Jeff, why don't you read some of the super chats we got? Because that's it for our headlines here.
Yeah, I could try that. Let's see here.
We got a few in.
Yeah, we got one for you from Jeremy G, who says Pokemon sleep to the polls. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I still do make Pokemon Go to the polls joke to my head. Hey, whatever called Joe Biden, Pokemon Joe.
Pokemon Joe Biden, yep.
I have to admit, I know it's like, it's probably already become a tired thing, and it's also, AI is maybe scary and destructive.
No, but
the
those
Joe
bits.
Biden Trump things have been pretty funny.
When they're playing Overwatch, yes, it's always good.
There was one where I think Trump was complaining about Kingdom Hearts 3 and Biden was defending it. There was one where Trump's like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Biden like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and it was very funny. It was really good.
Real quick, yeah, someone mentioned Metroid production run increase news. They're gonna print new Metroid Prime discs.
That's good, man. So this is good news for Metroid, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, someone has to approve that, right? And I hope it's someone that be like, oh, I guess I should tell the boys upstairs this game's selling. They thought it wasn't going to do shit.
Everyone's laughing at you for saying discs. It went over. I didn't even notice.
Card, yeah, whatever, yeah.
You know what we mean, people. They're making more.
I googled earlier today. Can coughing cause CTE? So that's where I'm at, everybody, because I've been coughing so hard, I'm hurting my brain. That's not. It's like a lot like a QTE. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Metroid, man, discs, Prime remastered, print run increase. Let's see here.
Look, that means that whatever they thought it was going to do, it's doing way better than that. It's exceeding expectations.
Yeah, but I mean, they probably really undershot the physical printing because they were doing it like late and everything, right?
Yeah, which is stupid. You said this before, and I've been thinking about this even more because I just beat Hi-Fi Rush. I still understand why Hi-Fi Rush is $30, Metroid Prime Remastered is $40, then other games are $60 and $70.
Other Nintendo remasters that are worse than this one.
Yes, like
Skyward Sword.
Pay $60 for Skyward Sword. Well, it's a longer game. Okay, pay $60 for the new Kirby remaster. Well, which has some new content.
Magalore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got the Magalore epilogue, which is what the kids love to say. Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene. Yeah, Mary Magdalene. Yeah, God. I guess it's sold out everywhere. We've known this. I was like very happy that Amazon was still sending me mine. But it sounds like they're going to increase print runs. Also, I think it was on sale at GameStop today, and it was available for quite some time before it sold out. Good. So, yeah, there you go. Right. I have some other super chats. Let me get to those. From L. Grug, what Pokemon do you want to sleep with, and who will be the big spoon? I mean, it's easy, Mr. Mime, and we'll take turns. We'll take turns.
I don't know, just one that's like a dog, so it's not weird. What's the dog that's a piece of bread? And I'll be the big spoon because it'd be weird otherwise.
Yeah, that's not weird. You're right.
Yeah, thank you.
From Isaac Clark, howdy fellas. Thank you guys so much for the show. It's a highlight of the week for me. I know she says a highlight instead of the highlight. I don't know.
Well, the other highlight is Game as the Science.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, fair enough then. Also, I just beat Tactics Ogre and loved it. Oh. What should I play next? Octopath 2, Trails from Zero, Chrono Trigger, or Dragon Quest 9?
I know that
these are Mikey games.
Yeah, Trails from Zero is next on my list, although I also want to play Tactics Over. I haven't gotten to that yet. Dragon Quest 9 is interesting because you'd be playing that on a DS, presumably. It's a very good game, but I don't know. If you want to keep playing something on a Switch, I say give Trails from Zero a go. Although people are saying very good things about Octopath Traveler 2, specifically people who, like me, didn't really like the first one, seem to be enjoying Octopath 2. So I might have to give it a chance here and see if I'm into it.
Jeremy G, I lost the context on this one, so put it in for your second super chats. Put it in chat right now, and I'll come back around to yours and see if Mike sees it.
I probably remember the context.
Okay. From Soysuke, hey Jeff, where's my Starfield announcement, boy? I don't know, man. I think it's coming this week, but I don't know for sure.
You said this week or next week is when they're going to announce a.
That's what I think. Yeah, but Andy's out there saying that. I think Jez is out there saying that. But I've heard. Next week for a long time, so I trust them more than me on this one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then Jeremy G says, will be even juicier when Starfield launches 6/22. What's the context on that, Mike?
Talking about people freaking out about how juicy it was, the discourse around Final Fantasy. Imagine if Starfield also comes out that month with all these other things. It can get crazy.
Then JD Camp comes in and caps off our super chats for now with, my sleep Pokemon is Ditto as Joe Biden. That's pretty good. I like that. Good. I like that.
What's the one, the context you're confused on? Just say it. I'll figure it out.
That was the one that will be even juicier with Starfield when Starfield launches 6/22.
Sorry. That was it. Oh, yeah, that's why.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, that we are all caught up on super chats now.
All right. Well, I think we should probably take a little break.
Yeah, we should. Let's go take a break and hit this button. Where's that button? Let's see. I'm going to be big-faced on this one. Everyone just deal with it. All right. Mike! I don't know. I don't have a good segue for this one this week. Do you have any ball talk you want to bring me?
About my balls?
Yeah, about your balls.
No, I mean, because there's not a lot of drama with my balls these days, Jeff, because they're always shaved clean. They're always smelling pretty good. Like, what is there to say anymore?
No, it's to say that we've figured out our ball situation, and it's all thanks to this week's sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is available for you to get a 20% discount and free worldwide shipping with the code MESS at manscaped.com. They've helped out over 14 million balls. You can add 2 more at a time by going to manscaped.com and hitting that code MESS, M-E-S-S. We've been using the Performance Package 4.0, which is a game changer. It comes with a Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ears and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Toner, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. The Lawnmower 4.0, it has a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe, that's TM, trademark, don't you try to use it, their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and has a 4,000 Kelvin LED spotlight for when you need a more precise shave. That's a lot of kelvins. That's a good white balance, by the way. 4,000 kelvins. Set your Elgato spotlight to that. Because this trimmer is waterproof, you can say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor, which I have. I looked at the mess, Mike. I looked right at it. I looked right in its eyes. It had eyes. That was the problem. And I said, goodbye, get out of my life. No longer am I going to look at a pile of weird body hair on my floor. It all goes down the drain where it belongs.
You should see a doctor.
You thought that was good, but want to take your grooming game even further? The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker nose and ear and hair trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof, provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which once again helps reduce those nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. Those sweet little baby nose holes. We gotta take care of them. They're so precious. We gotta. They're so precious.
Keep going.
They're just these little nose holes, and they're the baby of the holes on the body, and we just gotta take care of them. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner will change the way you approach your hygiene routine. Trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers, which are a delight. You were wearing them when we were out this weekend.
Oh, yeah. I actually asked you if you were wearing yours and was very disappointed.
I hadn't done laundry yet, but they're ready to go now. Maybe.
I thought we were going to be boxer bros.
You're right. I embarrassed both of us by not living up to the promise. And then you also get that shed travel bag, which is really nice. It's very good. Now, one more time, mess at manscaped.com. It's 20% off your order and free shipping worldwide. And this is, 20% off is a big number for what you're probably going to go get with this Performance Package 4.0. It's a lot of bang for your buck. Manscaped.com, 20% off, free shipping worldwide. Mess at manscaped.com. All right, there we go.
I'm going to go to the potty before we...
Sure thing.
Questions.
Just those precious little baby nose holes.
Precious baby balls.
We're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to talk about baby balls on this show. We've been warned. How's everybody doing?
I think we're getting taken off the air for that one.
Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, it had to happen eventually. I'm just glad we went out on top.
I mean, did it have to? Did it have to, though?
In my heart, yeah. I think eventually, yeah. I wasn't going to just quit. They have to make me quit.
Yeah, you've endured too much.
Exactly. I have to be stopped. Someone needs to stop me. Yeah, Eric, here's the thing. So I need sleep. Mostly I just need to stop being fucking sick. I got pretty good sleep last night despite being sick. That shout out to Mucinex Nighttime. But then I woke up at like 4:30 because I couldn't sleep anymore because I was so sick. But then I just stayed up. So I've been going since 4. That's the big issue. Yeah, I'll drink some Theraflu. We're okay. I'm feeling mostly fine. I just look like shit. And sound like shit. And I am shit. But other than that, we're good. Chances of a Switch 2 announcement this year. I mean, if I put it like on a number, and this is just my own gut feeling, I'm going to say it's like pretty high. Like a 45% chance of a Switch successor of some sort getting announced later this year. Pretty high.
I can't wait to listen to Nate the Hate. This is going to be, MVG's going to love talking about this again.
Yeah, this is, he's going to get, yes, because MVG's over it, and MVG lets him, always lets him hear it. I'm so
sick of this shit.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's going to be a lot of fun. You're right. Okay, everyone's being a doctor in chat. I'm not going to take melatonin and, like, a nighttime cold medicine. I mean, I was up at, like, I needed to wake up because, like, my body was no longer, mostly because it was really cold and I was shivering. But also, like, my nose was getting plugged up. I needed to wake up and go, like, take care of that. And then the problem was not that I was, like, I couldn't go back to sleep. The issue was I didn't want to go back to sleep. So what I did is I just played Kirby on my Switch and I got caught up and got ready for the quick look. I was ready to go. Like everyone's making me feel bad for being sick.
Why?
Because they all want to take care of me and and they care about my well-being. It's making me feel bad for some reason.
Oh well, yeah. Maybe if you feel really sick, you should take a day off, Jeff.
Yeah, that sounds like a luxury that some people don't have.
Well, you could trade me to run Game S mornings for you.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Yeah, okay, I'll do that sometime.
I can always.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Mostly, it's the Bombcast. I don't want to leave Jan hanging where he doesn't have me.
I said I wanted to be in the Bombcast, and you said no.
Okay, to be clear, Jan had already asked the other Final Fantasy 16 dweebs to be on there, so we just didn't need you. That was the big thing there.
Wow, I see how it is.
Yes.
I'm not needed.
No. Jan was just like, Mike's already doing a lot, so let's let him not have to be on this one.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Play Bubsy 3D again. You weren't sick then. That's a good point, Greg.
That's true. There is a non-zero chance that it was Chris, my brother, who got you sick. By the way.
Yeah, I mean, Addie was sick last week. My cold's pretty similar to what she had. I think it's that, but yes, he was also sick. I just started feeling bad the next day. I think that's too quick for it to be your brother.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, before we get back, if you're watching live, we will keep reading super chats to the end of the show. Thank you for the ones we got so far. And please hit that thumbs up button if you are watching.
Yeah, we really appreciate the super chats. They're one of the big things that keep the show going. So thank you, everybody who does that. Also, shut the fuck up, Christian. No one wants to hear about Destiny.
Also, thank you guys for supporting those Manscaped ads. Actually, we know that they are ads, but as much fun as we try to make it, but you guys have been really good about.
Yeah, you guys really showed up for that. That was great.
It's yes.
means a lot.
It.
They were happy with the campaign so far. So
they are happy with us, which means that yes, we're happy with you.
Okay, let's see.
Everyone's happy.
Mike, you can bring us back into the show whenever you're ready.
All right, Jeff, we're back. One more thing about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, tell me. I'm super curious about this game. So all the stuff you want to talk about.
So he's not a sad dad. But
that's impressive.
I want to claim this now. He is a brooding brother. Maybe a brooding bro. Does that sound better?
A brood bro? Yeah, okay.
A brood bro. He's a brood bro.
Oh, hell yeah. I love this.
That's mine also, along with Heel Mutt and Mog of War. Those are all mine.
Okay.
A TM.
Yeah, definitely. You should definitely be proud of those.
I claim TM. That's how that works, right?
I think so. You just declare it to the universe, and then someone writes it down somewhere in a book. Yeah, I think that's how it works. Okay, yeah, brood brother, definitely a cousin of the sad dad, but not a sad dad,
but different.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, look, I criticized Last of Us Part 2 because it was a revenge story. I do have that concern here, like, oh no, the main motivation is revenge. I hope the moral of the story isn't revenge is bad again, like it always is with these things.
Yep.
I hope the story has some more interesting.
Last of Us Part 2, it's just like, here's 25 hours how revenge is going to make you unhuman. Worse than the undead. Worse than the infected, whatever they call them in that fucking thing.
We don't call them zombies on set.
Why is he Clive? Why is his name Clive?
His name's Clive. I don't know. Would you like if his name was Noctis?
Okay, good point.
Native shit.
Good point. I wouldn't like that. You're right. I prefer Clive. Clive Rosefield. Just give me the vibe check on Clive. How's he doing? Like, is he be able to hold up to a whole game? I mean, I guess in the pantheon of Final Fantasy protagonists, it's not hard to stand out.
It's hard to say. I've only played, a few hours. But again, he's taking himself seriously, but he's not like a brooding. I know I said he's a brooding brother. He's not really super brooding kind of a guy. It's not like I don't even want to be around this asshole kind of, person. He seems fine. He definitely is probably going to have the same problem most protagonists have in video games, that they're often not the most interesting character because they're not allowed to be. Yeah, I like him so far. Like Noctis is a perfect example of that. He's such a main character that he kind of feels bland, right?
Right.
A lot of games are like that. A lot of shows are like that. Hey Arnold always made me feel that. I'm like, man, Arnold is the only boring person here without a character trait. Like everyone else has something. Arnold is just some guy. Now I'm talking about Hey Arnold. Holy shit.
I like Hey Arnold. Man, the knives have never come out faster for me than for the people defending the name Clive. Everyone in chat is just like, no, Clive rules. Okay, I was just trying to make something happen on the podcast I do. Everybody
shit,
chill.
Jeff. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this shot says, well, the fuck you want? A homie in a fantasy world called Jeff? Definitely not that. Let's not be absurd. That would be ridiculous.
The world building seemed pretty cool, by the way. except for like the aggressive Europeanism side of it, to the point where it's like, no black people.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I think at least they didn't stick their foot in the mouth with this round of interviews, so we'll see.
Well, IGN asked for clarification on it, and I don't know if it certainly didn't like solve the issue, but
Yeah, but it also hasn't blown up in their faces like it did last time.
no, everyone's too busy getting mad about God of War, maybe. All right, let's read our questions from the community. If you guys missed it, we are doing questions and topics every other week now to kind of try to keep the show a reasonable length. So we will have a topic next week. And I'll tell you now, the topic actually is going to be, what's your favorite RPG on the Switch? Talking about RPGs. And I know a lot of people have different ideas of what an RPG means. Let your heart be your guide.
Yeah, but not one of those disgusting JRPGs.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
It is becoming a less useful classification as we move forward. I get it, but like, come on. Like, if we're talking about Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, even PlayStation 2, I say JRPG. That's obviously very different from like Morrowind and KOTOR from that time.
Right. And it's and those also, I mean, at that time were CRPGs a lot of times. I guess not KOTOR.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I still think of them as part of that CRPG lineage.
I mean, these days, everything has so many things just have a bit of RPG in them. Fucking Suicide Squad might be more of it, like in terms of like numbers and stuff. It might be more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16 now. I don't know. Casual says, "Dear little lads who love berries and cream." I always hate that one. Going forward, how do you think the distribution? I feel like I didn't enunciate that word.
Distribution.
Distribution.
Man, you over enunciated, but I liked it.
Yeah. How do you think the distribution of the NSO games are going to look? Surely not one game per month per console. It might be one game per console a month again. I don't know. It's so weird because it's like there was still a lot of SNES games they could have added once they started doing the Nintendo 64. And they didn't completely stop, but it slowed down very drastically. And I feel like the Nintendo 64 is going to slow down really drastically once they get through the ones of those they already announced. And I hope we get more than one a month for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. It could be like that. But they already announced so many that are coming. I hope it's at least, it should be 3. It should be 3 a month for each of those. Yes. What are you thinking? Yeah, where was Nintendo 64 this month? That's right.
Yeah.
It was the end of February. When did GoldenEye happen?
That was January,
not this
right?
Month? January?
I'm just gonna say I don't know and wait for someone to correct us.
Is it or was GoldenEye? Do you think GoldenEye was such a gift that we're good for a couple months now? God.
No, but I hope they don't. I mean, they still have a ton of games already announced that they have. I mean, I don't know. They might. Has Pokemon Stadium come out yet?
We haven't had Stadium. We haven't had.
So they might be doing Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 together here pretty
1080,
soon.
Right? Where's 1080?
Yep, we're waiting for 1080. Yep. And then Excitebike 64 not even announced because we don't deserve good things again.
Was it not announced?
Excitebike 64. I think that we are probably going to have to just get our hopes up, and then we're going to have to.
I thought it was okay. Yeah. Excitebike was announced.
Sorry. It was announced.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. All right.
Yeah, eat shit, Clive hater.
So Wave Race 1080 and Excitebike have all been announced. Okay. Or Wave Race is on there, right? Yeah, but I mean, okay. Yeah, fuck Clive. I think we got to get our hopes up and be like, man, they might actually do it right this time. And then when next month they put one fucking Game Boy game on there, we can all just recognize that this is Nintendo's reality and we all just have to deal with it. I think that's the most likely scenario.
It sure was fun when that one day we had a bunch of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games at once. That felt awesome. It'd be cool to feel like that again.
Yeah, the people that were like, there's only 6 Game Boy Advance games here are going to feel ashamed of their words and deeds when they start getting only one per month going forward.
We still don't have Mario Party 2 and 3, huh?
Don't we have? Didn't 1 and 2 come?
1 came, I think. I don't think.
I haven't kept track. I need to stop just saying bullshit because I don't remember.
Yeah, I think 1 came, but that's it. Benji Glasskey says, "Dear little lads." Wait, no. God, it's another one saying berries and cream. God damn it! I was like, didn't I just read this? 1 and 2 did come. Okay, look at that, Jeff. I owe you an apology.
I was just talking on my ass anyhow, so whatever.
Dear little lads who love berries and cream, between Metroid, Kirby, Advance Wars, I don't. And I'm sure to be forgetting some others, we seem to be in a pretty cool time for Nintendo bringing back older titles in remasters or remakes. What other non-Zelda Mario games would you like to see this treatment? I think F-Zero GX is the big one. Jeff, right? Like, especially if you're going to do another really good GameCube remaster that's borderline a remake of a game that already looks really good on GameCube. Like, just like how Metroid Prime just needed a little bit of help and it's pretty much a modern game, I think F-Zero GX would have the same thing going for it. I think you just give that a little polish, maybe like add some new control options here and there, and everybody would be super happy with that. They could charge $40 for it again, right? They could only print 10,000 physical copies or discs, as you say. I'd be pretty happy. Yeah, sorry, funny.
Okay, the one that they should bring back and give this similar treatment to is Cura and Squash, which Nintendo published. So
for the GameCube.
Japan only, right. So they should do the thing that they've done a couple of times, not often, where they just put it out everywhere. It would be very nice if they would just make the menus English. They probably would have to. The menus are cumbersome enough that it's not just like you could get into it like Mario Picross, right? That's the Game Boy one that was Japanese that they put out everywhere.
So for people who don't know, so Kururin is the irritating stick style game that was released on Game Boy Advance. And then there was a GameCube version that we didn't get here.
Or we could just do Odama. Let's do Odama. Bring back Odama.
Or just do Odama.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Does the Switch have a microphone?
We're getting Biden Kaitos.
Yeah, we're getting Hunter Biden Kaitos. Yeah.
There you go. Chuck 1991 says, so Metroid Prime Remastered has already reached eBay reseller status, and I haven't gotten a copy yet. The Nintendo severely underestimate how many physical copies it produce. It's absurd a game is going for 100 plus on eBay the day after it releases. I mean, they obviously severely underestimated, and that's why they are making more discs, as Jeff says. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, they, I hate this people yell at us all the time that, and I get it, we think more highly of Metroid than Nintendo does. You still have to think that they have stuff like numbers and whatnot that can help them predict how many Metroid Prime discs, Jeff, to make.
I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here.
So how do they get it? How do they get it so wrong, I guess?
These companies can't predict this shit in the best of times. When a company tries to predict what demand is going to be for something, if they get within 40% of reality, that's considered a win. And this is for all kinds of different markets, not just games. Games, they probably try to get it a little bit closer than that. But predicting consumer behavior is actually really surprisingly hard for these companies. And I bet a lot of times, especially for a game like Metroid Prime, that Nintendo of Japan, Nintendo Company Limited probably doesn't believe in, it's very easy to err on the side of fewer physical editions, fewer discs. I guess that's what we're calling it from now on.
Oh no, Leah. Might be Leia, but I think it's Leah. Oh no, Leah. You have to let me know, Leah/Leia. Sup, mutts? I don't have balls, and all these Manscaped ads are making me feel left out. Talk to me about vaginas. Thanks. Well, Jeff, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I've been told that vaginas also have hair sometimes. So I imagine that these razors would probably work just as well on those. All I really know about vaginas is that they usually have bones, and Nintendo censors their video games by removing them.
Yeah, that's. I believe this stuff would work. I think. Listen, you have my full permission to get Manscaped products and use it on your vagina and the surrounding area to clean that whole area up. It does. The reason that it's branded this way, it does scare the boys. You frighten the boys. Yes. The idea that a lady could use a product made for men, by God, I need to run away from this.
Dr. Popper. They already took Dr. Pepper 10 away from them. Now they're coming for our Manscaped.
Not for women. Oh, fuck. Oh, God, that's just, that was in our lifetimes. Right. We were basically adults when that was happening.
Now they don't make that anymore. They just have Dr. Pepper Zero, which is probably the same formula, but they advertised it better. Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone loves a shaved up downstairs, so go to town.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, no. Tyler James. I hope we didn't scare away our one female listener, Jeff. Tyler James Bezos recently watched an old Giant Bomb Nintendo Direct live reaction video. Dan Riker said that Zelda Link's Awakening is the second worst Zelda game, only ahead of Spirit Tracks.
He's
No
so lucky
question.
that
It's fun, Dan.
Man, I should just beat him up when we go to
He
Super
just
Nintendo World.
does not like the original Game Boy.
He doesn't like the
no
he doesn't like the
affinity.
Game Boy. That's what it is, totally. Yes, and he's just wrong. He's just wrong. But yes, that's what it is.
It is weird. And like you can almost understand where he's coming from. Maybe like he got some Game Boy games and like, well, this is worse than NES. I don't care. It's wrong. There's a lot of very good Game Boy games, especially Link's Awakening. I mean, did he really play through all of Link's Awakening and
No
was
way.
just like, this is bad? There's no way.
Oh, but yes, that's right. There's a big egg in it, right? So you probably got scared of the big egg.
Oh, that must be. And he thought he might have to eat it.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of games where apples give you health. I don't boycott those. Next one here is from Super Hardman. I know film distribution is a weird shit show generally, but do you think there's a chance the Mario movie gets a digital/streaming release on the Switch? Huh. No, they should release it on Game Boy Advance on one of those carts again. That'd be good.
I would love that.
But yeah, I never thought about that. That's interesting. Would they just like on the Nintendo eShop buy the Mario movie?
I'm not gonna say it's impossible. Probably not, though.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It's an interesting idea, though. I never thought of it. Laser Wolf says, hello, Jeff, the Hitman Grubb, and Mike, the Heartbreak Kid Minotti. I'm very glad I'm HBK in this scenario, Jeff. Hello, Shawn Michaels. Are there any tactic games you can recommend other than Fire Emblem? P.S. I'm with Mike. Fruit is disgusting. Thank you very much. Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics. The PlayStation 1 Tactics Advance is also fun, but a bit of a different vibe. The new Tactics Ogre is in a very similar vein to that. Probably worth checking out. Even the Mario plus Rabbids games are decent tactics games. If you're looking at something very similar to Fire Emblem and has a retro vibe, you can play Shining Force 2 for the Genesis on your NSO right now. Doesn't have a very good translation, unfortunately, and it's kind of grindy, but it's pretty similar to Fire Emblem. But thank you, Ariel Delgado, by the way, for joining our Lincoln tier.
Yeah, shout out, Ariel.
Appreciate it. Triangle Strategy also, again, if you're looking for that Final Fantasy Tactics vibe. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like ones that are just straight up as good as Fire Emblem and like get you into the action as quick. And it's like, well, I mean, you can, those Final Fantasy Tactics games and Tactics Ogre, you're going to be waiting a little bit longer. They're going to give you a little bit more story. And if you're okay with that, there's a lot of options available to you. I've never played a Disgaea. I know a lot of people like Disgaea.
Yeah, I've never played Disgaea.
But yeah, I just know that
what's the one that you love? That's also like a roguelike.
It
was on Netflix or something.
Yeah, right. Oh God, Into the Breach. God, that's a perfect game. That's a perfect video game. You should go play Into the Breach right now. If you haven't played Into the Breach, that's the one you should play. It gives you all the information to make awesome choices, and it's just your big mechs versus big giant insects attacking towns, and it's 5 turns every round. And that might sound like slight. No, it's perfect. It's the perfect game. Go play it.
Running Riot says, hey, dogs, would Nintendo ever remaster Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door? It would likely become the best performing Paper Mario critically and commercially, but it would also prove that Nintendo has been going in the wrong direction with the series since the GameCube. Yeah, we know we kind of were asked something similar to this. And again, in terms of GameCube games that you could probably remaster pretty easily, there's not much you need to do to 1,000-Year Door to just make that feel as good as like other games of that ilk.
Right, that doesn't even need as much, like near as much as Metroid Prime got.
No,
you can get away with a lot less
there.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be very easy to do. I would like to see it a lot. And again, it's one of those things that if they would just put GameCube games on NSO, it's like, yeah, you could just put the ROM of that on there, and that'd be good to go. But yeah, I wish they would just put a little work in it, making it HD, sell it for $40, $60 even, probably because Mario's in the title. You think? Is it still a problem with Miyamoto that this has too much story for a Mario game and that Goombas wear hats?
I mean, yeah, probably. I want to believe that that's no longer an issue. Wasn't there like some movement there recently? Like one of the...
I thought he said something about it where he tried to defend that he doesn't actually say no to stories in games. I don't know.
Well, we've had some of the other... Like the guy that like did Link's Awakening was like, I would try to sneak stories into games because Miyamoto would always say no. So we know that's not true.
In the Mario Galaxy director, like I said, Miyamoto didn't like how I put so much story in the first one. So that's why there's not as much in Mario Galaxy 2. Like, yeah. So, but again, I guess those examples are older at this point. So,
Yeah, maybe
I don't know.
he's busy over at the parks now, and they get away with a lot more.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, probably.
The Jad of us says, "Woof woof, Nintendogs. I have just beaten Kirby the Forgotten Land last week, and now I'm playing through all the main Kirby games, starting with Kirby's Dream Land. I'm waiting to play Return to Dreamland Deluxe whenever my library gets it, so I can borrow for the week. What do you both think is the best Kirby mainline and spin-off? I still like Kirby Superstar, the Super Nintendo one, the most. I think that one is just a ton of fun. Really good two-player co-op game. It was the first Kirby game where the copy abilities didn't just give you one button to push. It gave you a move set. And that was the big deal with Return to Dreamland on Wii, is that it brought that back.
Yes.
And then like the 3DS games just also did that.
You know what Return to Dreamland Deluxe plays a lot like? Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I know in some of them, you actually can get a copy ability that's just called Smash, and it just gives you Kirby's Smash Brothers moveset.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Spin-off is probably Dream Course.
We were talking about the same guy. Mike Koizumi was the Link's Awakening and Mario Galaxy director.
That's hilarious.
That sounds right.
How
Yeah.
about that?
I was like, as soon as he started saying that, I'm like, I think that's the same guy, but I wasn't sure. Thank you, One versus CPU. Koizumi rules.
That's great. But yeah, Kirby's Dream Course. Also, the Kirby Canvas Curse on the DS was also another very good one. Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite mainline one just is Forgotten Land now. If you're like looking for something else,
Sure.
I really am super duper enjoying Return to Dreamland Deluxe. We'll talk about it more at the end of the show. But I mean, then I think people like that game, and I think they liked Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot even more.
They're very good. Also,
I haven't played
yes.
those, so I'm really looking forward to going back to those now after playing this and really enjoying it. So I think you kind of can't miss with that trilogy of games there. And then the best spinoff is one of the best spinoffs to any game series of all time, Kirby's Dream Course.
Yep.
It is such a good idea for a Kirby game, a golf game. It's super satisfying to set up shots, get the powers, activate them in the middle of the shot, and get awesome hole-in-ones. It's on Nintendo Switch Online, and you should be playing it right now. Everyone should be playing it right now.
Don't worry, Chad. I didn't drop a drink. It was just an empty pill box. We're fine. Shoji Kodo says, "Hey there, Mike. I enjoy farting on children Minotti, and Jeff, as a parent, please fart on my kid's Grubb. please watch that voicemail dump truck if you didn't. God, that was fun.
That's a good show.
Now that Nintendo has officially confirmed it is not attending E3 this year, what is your take on the statement and reasoning they gave? I mean, I think it's, I don't want to say bullshit, but look, I think they know they don't need to do it. I think they know that they can just do their own thing, and it might even make more sense at this point. I think they know that they have the luxury of waiting and seeing what this new E3 looks like before they really commit to it. It's very easy for them to at least skip this year, and that's why they kind of sugarcoated at the end, saying like, yeah, we love E3 though, and the ESA. Yeah, we'll probably be back. Yeah, that's what I think.
Reed Pop got a late start. They just did. Even though they're more competent than the ESA, Reed Pop got a late start getting this E3 put together. I think that threw enough wrench in the works that a lot of these companies were like, well, this is never going to happen then. We're never going to have enough time to be able to put this together. So I think Nintendo was just like, well, then no this year and maybe next year.
Tink says, what's the missing ingredient in Star Fox games post-64? The characters, music, and space shooting mechanics should be enough, but Nintendo seems hell-bent on not giving us all three of those at one time. I think they're just missing a way to make Star Fox 64 a longer game without adding bullshit to it.
I think that's exactly it.
Yeah, I think that's just
I
it.
think that they don't know how they could charge $60 for a Star Fox game that is what Star Fox was before, a really short experience.
Just do back, because I think we'd probably all be happy with Star Fox 64 or 2, whatever you would call it. Chaos Buckaroo says, howdy, Jeff. 11 happy years with my Mikey, Heart, Grubb, and Mike, Cammy, Vagina Bones, Minotti. Look, to be clear, I didn't tweet that. I grabbed Jeff's phone at some bar and started tweeting on his account. So he grabbed mine and was much, much worse with what he tweeted from my account.
I assumed he was going scorched earth, so I did too.
Yeah, but it was guys.
I cowered. I was the coward. It was like, I didn't tweet this Game Boy thing. Please stop saying I did. It's killing me.
Yeah, you were the one who was like You blinked first.
I blinked
anyways.
first,
Like,
absolutely.
I didn't actually tweet
I
that.
couldn't stand people thinking I thought the Game Boy Color is a unique and different platform.
Oh my god. Octopath Traveler 2 released this week with its 10 out of 10 box art. Can you all include a box art of the year in your Game of the Year stuff at the end of the year? Yeah, just remind us.
Yeah, remind us. That's a really great category. I like that. Also, was Star Fox 2 a roguelite?
Yeah, Star Fox 2 is kind of a roguelite. Yes, you're supposed to do multiple runs of
that. That is the answer here, is make Star Fox a roguelite. Yeah. That's the way you do
maybe
this.
Really do that. Really just copy
Really
Hades.
lean into it. Basically, Star Fox 64 plus Hades. Is that something? I think it's something. Go with that. Do that.
That seems a good idea for me. Too bad we don't make games.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah. Lazy Nickname says, Wolf Wolf Dogs, new subscriber, so first time asking a question. Thank you, Lazy Nickname. If you were to take the three components of these three Nintendo series and mix them up into a unique gaming cake for you to enjoy, how would you do it? Your three series are Mario, Zelda, and Metroid. Can be 2D or 3D, your choice. And the three components are gameplay mechanics, music, and setting. Thanks for everything you do. I will take the gameplay mechanics of Mario Odyssey with the music of Zelda set on Talon 4 from Metroid Prime.
Okay, I like that. I would take the gameplay mechanics of Link Between Worlds. I would take the music of the Metroid series, and I would take Mario RPG as the setting.
Okay. B. Traven says, do you think there has been a sea change and now gaming audiences expect backwards compatibility to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch generation forever, and all subsequent consoles? It feels like that to me. Yeah, I mean forever is a long time. Who knows how far this goes. Whatever the next Switch is, it's gonna have to be backwards compatible. It just is.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. Sure. I think where we're at now is these companies are actually realizing that there is a lot of money to be made in consistently getting money from us every month or from a big purchase every year for their live service stuff. And in order to make that make sense, there needs to be some continuity from one platform to the next. And they need to live up to their side of the bargain. So Sony and Microsoft figured that out. It went really well for both of them, especially Sony just had a huge profits through their console transition. They never had that before. Nintendo wants that, so they're going to try to figure it out.
Screaming Madden says, hey, Jeff, destroyer of the timed spice bongo drums Grubb, and Mike, well, I'm not going to say this, it might be a spoiler, Minotti, thinking about Blight Club, are there any Nintendo-published games worthy to be featured in the series? According to Metacritic, the worst-rated Nintendo game is 3D Classics Urban Champion for the 3DS with 37. I know it's not really like an awful game, Jeff, in a lot of ways, but if you made me play Paper Mario Sticker Star, I sure would be miserable.
Yeah, I really hate that game.
I hate it.
I think I gave like a 60 out of 100. That was way too high. I really despise Sticker Star. Yeah, it's going to be something like that. A game that just completely misses the mark, like Sticker Star. That might be a decent one for Blight Club, actually.
It's too long. No, it's too long, so we can't do it.
It's too long. Yeah, I mean, we're looking for 6-hour games or shorter, or in that general range. You can get up to 8 hours, but yeah, there's not a lot of great choices there. I did start playing not Federation Forces, Blast Ball, Metroid Prime Blast
the
Ball.
Soccer game that came with it.
Yeah, basically Rocket League. That's a fun game. I was having a good time with that game.
I bet if I actually had like two people to play Federation Force with, I could have fun with it. What I think was really repulsive was just the idea of it and the art style of it. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I also would rather play Urban Champion 2 than Sticker Star, definitely. Or Urban Champion's like easy, yeah.
Velocity Prime says, good evening to the Tuesday Dogs. I know this is a Nintendo podcast, but my recent Steam Deck purchase has had me playing a bunch of PlayStation 2 games recently.
Hell yeah.
And I'm wondering, where's the PS2 nostalgia wave that the GameCube and even Dreamcast have gotten? There's so much awesome stuff here.
Okay, so why is, like, I think it's coming. I think it's like, I think we're actually due. I think it's going to come. But it's, it was also just so ubiquitous that it doesn't have that same necessarily special feeling as GameCube and Dreamcast. I mean, what's the common denominator there? They both were they underperformed relative to that generation, right?
Right, yeah, I guess that's it. But like like Super Nintendo had nostalgia just pretty
You're
much
right.
on time. Same with Genesis. So even PlayStation 1. I mean, there has been PlayStation 2
Yes,
nostalgia.
definitely. And look, I did that demo derby with Dan earlier this week. That's not on Giant Bomb right now. It was a lot of fun. People should watch that. Another PlayStation 2 demo disc from 2003. And like we're like seeing this game Roadkill that both of us completely missed. And we're like, oh my God, we both want to go back to this game.
Sure.
But why isn't it widespread? I don't know. I do think it'll happen. I kind of want to I want to see like what that looks like from most people.
I wonder if so many of those games like got remasters or just like compilations on PlayStation 3. I don't know if like that somehow delayed it.
Yeah, but there's
maybe they
there are good games on PS2 that people just don't like. Mark of Cree. That's the one I was bringing up the other day.
Well, it has like one of the biggest one of the biggest and best libraries ever. So maybe that's the problem. Is that like so many of these really good games just get overshadowed by the most obvious, super gigantic Grand Theft Autos, Final Fantasies, Metal Gear Solids, and like the Sony stuff, like your Ratchet and Clanks. Like some people will try to act like Sly Cooper's a deep cut, right?
Right.
That's the problem.
Can I tell you what I think happened?
Sure.
I think that PlayStation fandom got a little bit too up its own butt about the prestige games. And now when they look back at PS2, a lot of those games don't fit that model for what a real video game is.
Are you saying they're all Jim Ryan scoffing at old Gran Turismos?
I think that there's a lot of that. Yeah. Not I think there's plenty of PlayStation fans that absolutely will love and die for the Dark Clouds and everything else. Absolutely.
Yes.
But I don't think that you all, the people that would do that, are dominating the conversation among PlayStation fans. I think the ones that are dominating the conversation are the ones that want to put The Last of Us on a pedestal. Not that it doesn't deserve it. I have no opinion, but just like that's who's controlling that conversation.
I mean, it feels like if I talk about some like beloved game you gave, a lot of people are like, yeah. And I'll talk about something like Ridge Racer Type 4, PlayStation 1 even, right? And it's like, I kind of have to explain it, which is upsetting.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah. Bench JC says, hey, dogs, what is the game you regret not beating the most?
That's tough.
My answer might have been Half-Life for a while, and I finally beat that because of the Game Club, finally. There's a lot of... I'll tell you what my most started game has been recently is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Oh,
I think
sure.
I started that game like 4 times.
Thank you. You just made me think of my answer. Okay.
And I always enjoy it, and then I always kind of get sidetracked, and by the time I go back to it, I feel like I can't just jump back into this. I better start over again. So... I wish I could beat that game, especially since Boulder Gates 3 is coming out. And it looks pretty similar. It's the same team and all that stuff. What's your answer, Jeff?
Hang on. I'm asking ChatGPT to help me remember the name of it.
That's good. Yeah, get the AI.
Yeah, okay. It's that RPG that came out recently where you play as the really shitty cop and your partner is an Asian cop.
I don't remember this at all. You know what? Another good answer would be Outer Worlds from
oh yeah,
I was just
Disco Elysium. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Disco Elysium. I was enjoying that. No reason to put it down. I put it down and never finished it. And now it's like really hard to restart again because I made all these choices and I want to stick with them, but I also don't remember anything. So it's like, man, I wish I would have just beat that game. I need to just start it over and go.
Chance.
What were you were saying another game that I was like, that was
Outer Worlds just popped in my head, kind of similar.
Yeah, I was like
enjoying it.
Okay with putting that one down, but now I'm like feeling an urge to go back to that one.
That one won't be quite as hard to get back to. There's some stuff there, like I have all these companion characters and they have like their things going on. I don't remember. I don't know what the hell their problem was. There's like a sequel to that coming out anyways, and I bet you can just jump into that. I don't know.
Right, totally.
One Up versus CPU says, Mike was gone when I asked last time. So Mike, what's the question you want answered the most about Tears of the Kingdom? AJ wants to know its place in the timeline. I want to know if it has dungeons. I know Jeff doesn't care, and I understand that. But
I wouldn't say I don't care.
Not care, but it doesn't. I don't say it doesn't matter to you, but your excitement for the game would not be altered that much if you found out it didn't have dungeons. Right. I would be a bit more excited if I found out it had bigger dungeons. Like part of it just because like I want those bigger interconnected puzzle areas, but also I just like having these big places with specific themes. I loved the gameplay of all the challenge shrines, but they did all look the same. Yeah. And like after a while, that was not like a big problem, but it would have been cool if there was a bit more visual variety there.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Wong Gifts says, hey, Mike, Nintendo Minotti, and Jeff Nintendo Grubb. Do you think that Nintendo will one day shut down the Switch store like they shut down the 3DS/Wii stores? Or would the balance shift to digital purchases this generation mean that the upward would be too hard for them to handle? It matters a lot to some people. Preservation is mostly, but doesn't matter to you guys. Thanks. I mean, I think the store's going to shut down someday.
On the grand scale of time, yeah.
Like maybe someday there's going to be a Nintendo store that's just going to transfer over to every future console. It sure isn't the eShop we have now. That infrastructure is not good enough.
Yeah.
Now maybe the next store will just have pretty much all of those games anyway. But even then, pretty much. I mean, there's so many Switch games that I really think all of those are going to be purchasable in the console 4 generations from now, or like 30 years from now. You're still going to be able and buy one of those $1 Switch games. I don't think so. I mean, look, you talk about preservation stuff, and I do care, but this is always going to be a problem. And I don't want to say this is what makes piracy okay, but if you have a 3DS, I would hack it. I would just home that baby like crazy now.
Tell you what, the H-Shop is working just fine.
There you go. Haas says, "Hey, yo, dogs, who's joining me on a Pokemon Red Nuzlocke?" Aw, shit, sad face. Hey, look, I got my Pokemon Fire Red Game Boy Advance cart right here. I've got Game Cubes with Game Boy players on them. I'm ready to go. I could do it. Then Jimmy Nintendo. Oh no, excuse me. MDY says, "Hey there, Mike refuses to eat fruit even in Yoshi's Story and Naughty, and Jeff ready to slip into a Famicoma. Grubb, if you could work at any game studio right now and work on any franchise, which would it be and why?" That's interesting, Jeff. You ever think about that? Like, I don't think either of us are like the type that are like angling or even thinking about actually working in development very much.
No.
But like, if you had to,
right.
Is there one you would like to work on? I don't know why, but I kind of like the idea of like maybe one of these slightly smaller studios that's doing cool retro style games like a Yacht Club. I could see myself being happy working on Shovel Knight and Mina, whatever the hell else they're doing.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I actually just started thinking about this like in the last day. Not that I'm like considering. I'm not. You're right. I do. This is not a job career path that I intend or would want to take. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. But IOI announced that new Dragons thing, and I'm like, man, it would be fun to be at that IOI that is like, I think, on top of the world right now with Hitman, World of Assassination, and like trying to figure out what they could do next. And I would probably like want to work over on the James Bond game, even though it's like I don't necessarily have a ton of affinity for that, but I have a ton of affinity for IOI, and having them, like, helping them solve those problems, I think would be really fun.
Yeah, or maybe you end up joining a studio because you really like their Batman games, and all of a sudden you're working on a Suicide Squad game, right? Like, who knows what that'll happen.
Exactly. Yep, I kind of, right. I want to keep doing this.
Jimmy Nintendo says, "Woof woof, do you think a new Nintendogs will come out before the end of the decade?" No, we're the last ones.
Yep, we are it.
That's it. You better get used to it. Better accept us and appreciate us.
I tried to like show my daughter Nintendogs plus cats, and she likes cats. She does not like dogs. So
she straight up doesn't like dogs.
And I tried not to like do my like weird like, oh, I don't like dogs. I'm fine with dogs. But like I play it up for the shows and stuff. I don't do that in front of her because I don't want to like make her think like
dogs.
Exactly. So I don't do any of that stuff. And she's just like, that's a dog game. Get it off my DS. Get it off my 3DS. I'm like, there's cats in there too. She's like, yeah, but I see a dog. I'm like, okay, Jesus.
That's like, that's a certain kind of kid personality you'll see sometimes where, and we see this sometimes with console warriors today, where if they like the one thing a lot, they have to not like the other. Like you said, they're doing that with Kirby a bit. Like, well, we don't like Mario anymore, obviously, because we like Kirby now.
It's the same thing, yes. It's just, I mean, it's clearly human nature, like that. This is, I mean, clearly with a kid doing it, but yeah, it's weird. I'm like, no, it's okay. So she wouldn't really try it. And honestly, the cat, like Nintendogs plus cats, not as good.
Insular factionalism used to help keep us alive, and now it just
now it just creates weirdos on the internet.
Yeah. Gratilda's Bazunga says, "Hello, Jeff has the Daddy Juice Minotti." And did I say hello, Jeff Minotti? Hello, Mike has the Daddy Juice Minotti, and Jeff does not have the Daddy Juice Grubb. If you had to have a Pokemon watch you while you sleep, which would it be?
I said I would sleep with Mr. Mime, but I would. Who would I want to watch me sleep? I want
Mr. Mime watch you sleep is also. I want Arceus. I want God to watch me sleep.
Yeah, I was going to say Mewtwo because I want his piercing eyes to judge me.
There you go. Drewman says, "Attention all wolves. T minus 30 days until the eShop closure. It's a little difficult, but still possible to make purchases. Basically, you need a 3DS, Wii U, and a Switch in order to link up funds with a Nintendo Network ID.
Yeah, I
Certain
doing
Wii
all
U
that.
games are already doubling in price. $100 for Twilight Princess HD, and 3DS is slowly creeping up as well. It's the last chance to preserve some fantastic 3DS, Wii U, Wii games for reasonable prices, or even at all. Can you jailbreak a Wii U? I assume that's much more difficult than doing it with a 3DS.
I'm gonna bet that it isn't that difficult, but I don't know.
Well, then,
I haven't done it.
yeah.
I'm just running emulators on the PC.
I will say, for Wii and Wii, especially for GameCube and Wii U, do that. 3DS seems like jailbreaking is relatively. I don't spend like hundreds of dollars trying to download a bunch of games on these shops because you're worried about like conservation. There will be other ways to preserve those games.
Yeah, and at this point, do it that way.
Pablo Casas, hello, beef and cheddar muchachos. What's more elusive? Hollow Knight Silk Song, Pokemon Red, Blue, and NSO, or Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD bundle for Switch? You could easily add a clown emoji to all these words. Anyway, happy Tuesday. Well, Hollow Knight Silk Song has been announced, and we saw it again recently, so that's the least elusive somehow. Pokemon Red and Blue on NSO, or Twilight Princess. I feel more insulted personally by Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, so maybe I'll
that does feel the most elusive of those to me.
Yeah. DMC, Depressed Bee Crying, says, hello, Jeff. Everything sucks compared to Kirby. And Mike, darn you, Johnny Appleseed. Mike finds it strange that King DDD's design was changed for Return to Dreamland DX. However, it's much deeper than that. His design's been tweaked or completely changed for each of the modern mainline games. Notice the eye spacing and body shape especially. It's funny that HAL has overthought the design of a secondary character in a franchise whose titular character was a circle as a placeholder, which HAL decided was good enough. Yeah, look at all of these. He just does look completely different in all of them. And we don't even have the actual good one, which is just his Smash Brothers render, which is perfect. Just use that. I will say, I think that the newest one here looks the worst. Even this pose, what the hell is this? This Return to Dreamland Deluxe one. It is weird.
I like it.
On a design. I know you do. You like trash. You say as much.
Well,
constantly.
okay, I do. Yes, constantly. But I think it's the best. I think it's the most.
I think that's the best one. Okay, yeah. But it's not better than the Smash Brothers one. It's just not.
Oh, that's what this is all about. Okay, the Smash Brothers one is very good.
It's not because it's Smash Brothers, but yes, the Smash Brothers render of DDD is perfect. Smash Brothers also, by the way, has the best render of classic Mega Man ever. Also the best render of Simon Belmont. So not of Sonic though, because they use like Sonic Adventure Sonic, which is not as good as classic Sonic. So there. Mr. Bowler says, what's up? Don't replace me with that. Get that out of my face.
All right. It's going to take a second.
Thank you. Yeah, it better. If they take more than a second, I'll leave. I can't see. There you go. Thank you. Mr. Bowler, what's up, Nintendogs? It wasn't announced at the Pokemon Presents, but recently on the Japanese Pokemon YouTube channel, the soundtrack for Pokemon Red and Green were uploaded, albeit as a single video with all the songs compiled together. There really isn't much, but considering Nintendo doesn't release their music in an official capacity often, and usually as inaccessible to the West, this is something, I guess. What would it take for Nintendo to put old OSTs on YouTube, similar to what Square Enix has done? Is there any hope?
A change in copyright law.
Yeah, I mean, look, Pokemon is always just a bit of a different case from Nintendo even then. It sounds like it wasn't much. I don't know. Like, yeah, you say what you will about Square Enix, Jeff, but they put, like, I can listen to a lot of their soundtracks on Spotify, and that's nice.
Yeah, this continues to be these companies being afraid of the mechanical copyright stuff, where if you put it out on disc or streaming, I think, in the United States, then people are allowed to cover it, and for some reason that scares the hell out of them.
Jamie H1224, which sounds like a Metroid planet to me. That's why I like
Sure.
that. All this pizza tower talk on Giant Bomb over the last couple of weeks has me very excited for Anton Blast. It's got a Switch release planned for this year, so I can't wait to check it out then. They brought out a demo when its Kickstarter launched last year, which is still up if you want to check it out. Big Wario Game Boy Color vibes. I think there's a lot of games coming out with Wario Land vibes recently.
Yes, it's time we got there. Although that pizza tower, someone pointed out, actually is like a lot like Sonic too, because once you get going, he's like very fast, and he carries a lot of momentum and can like run up walls and stuff. I guess that's not like Sonic, but
he looks like Booger Man to me.
Yes, in the animation's like Booger Man, definitely.
Did you own Booger Man? Because I owned Booger Man.
I rented Booger Man. I didn't own it. I was a complete deviant.
I made mommy and daddy buy Booger Man. I'm a bad kid.
Oh, have you not? Yeah. Oh, okay. He was talking about something else. Mike, you might have skipped Octos. I don't want to miss anybody's. Yeah, Anton Blast. This does look good. Yeah, this looks great.
Thank you, Jeff. I did miss Octo. Octo says, yo, Jeff, Mike followed me to Giant Bomb like a lost puppy, Grubb. Wow. And Mike, I followed Grubb to Giant Bomb so I could give him his fucking hair back. You can go back in time and whisper one thing in Miyamoto's ear. Language is not an issue. Nothing longer than a few sentences. It can be at any time. But like Inception, you can't be sure of the consequences. What do you whisper in Shiggy's ear? And you can't say Chris Pratt is cool because someone obviously already did that. I would go back right before like that E3 where they show off Wii Music and just whisper in his ears, Wii Music's gonna be huge. I would just really boost his confidence for that, because I'm a cruel asshole.
I would go back to like pretty early and be like, one day a website is gonna look at Luigi in tennis shorts and try to guess how long his penis is. And that's all I would do. That's all I'll say.
You quit gaming right then and there.
Yep.
Dr. Suss says, hey, idiots, if you had to bet which is the highest profile NSO game that won't be available on the Switch 2 that's not 007. So one that won't be released by the time we get to Switch 2. Mario RPG is very easy to do. And then like the Pokemon games are also very high profile, and there's a big possibility we don't get Pokemon Red, let's say, for example.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I can go with those. Donkey Kong 64. I mean, is it that high profile? I don't know, but also probably won't be showing up yet. Lenny, Cool Dick Denver says, hey, wet beef, Sheets or Arby's? Oh, shit, because Jeff loves Sheets. For me, it's an easy Arby's. Jeff, come on. Don't disappoint me here, buddy.
No, it's still Arby's, but I really, really like Sheets. It's surprisingly good.
It is.
Because it's like, I'll go there and I'll just get like a sub, and I'm like, this is as good as like Subway or any of these other sandwich places. And then I'll get
as good as Subway. What an endorsement.
Yeah, okay.
I know what you mean. Like, it's
okay, I like Subway more than
place.
a lot of other sandwich shops because I've worked at a bunch of them, and like Subway's the one that like holds up for me.
Yeah, I go to Subway a lot. It's right by my house. So.
But then then I can order like their chicken tenders with all like buffalo sauce or Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce. I'm like, man, this is really good too. Their chicken's really good. What the hell? So I really appreciate Sheets. It's been there for me, but Arby's is still the goat.
Jeremy Biff says, hello, Jeff. Kirby Returns to Dream Deluxe is my game of the year. And Grubb and Mike going to play Mario Party with Dan Reichert, Snowboy Mike, and Mike Tyson Minotti. Who are your best girl and best boy in Fire Emblem Engage? Mine are Amber, Marin, and Ivy. Gosh, I've stopped playing for a couple weeks, so I'm already forgetting names. I like the High Papaya girl. I'd like her more without her face star.
Her face tattoos.
Her face tattoo.
Her SoundCloud rapper face tattoos.
Yeah. And look, the guy in Final Fantasy 16 also has face tattoos. I don't know where this trend's coming from, but I don't like it. Let's stop.
It's coming from, what's his name? Post Malone.
There's some like short hair mage lady who's very a bit stuck up, but that's kind of, I don't know, I'm into it. I forget her name though. So yeah, I like her. I like
Chloe. This will probably tell you I'm still pretty early. I'm like 12 missions in or whatever, but I like Chloe and I like Louis or Lewis, however you're supposed to say it. Chloe's my favorite girl and Lewis is my favorite boy.
I think Citrine. So yeah, Citrine. I like Citrine. Yeah, I was like, is that a feather or just her hair doing a thing?
She sounds like latrine.
Yeah,
sounds like toilet.
Citrine. And I like the little boy doctor. He's a good boy. I like making him strong, giving him plenty of vegetables, but no fruit. Those are dangerous. And then Ed says, hey, gents, just wanted to signal boost that Square Enix announced a new horror/visual novel IP in the Japanese version of the Direct. That's actually getting a worldwide release. It's called Paranorma Site, The 7 Mysteries of Hanjo, and it's out on March 9th for $15. Looks cool. Neither of you guys are allowed to play it until you get through Danganronpa, though. But fair enough. So,
all right. I just want to play it.
Yeah. No, we're going to play Danganronpa. It's going to be great.
God damn it.
Clink says, hello, Mike, afraid of the iPhone Minotti. And Jeff, I did not have relations with that fridge Grubb. Any chance Pokemon Sleep will feature a Mr. Mime that just stares at you? Yeah, we're going to get... I wonder if they're going to, one, put any of the real humanoid Pokemon, right. Or two, put any of the Pokemon that have been really sexualized on the internet. Like
they might do that. But they don't have the
Or
guts
Rowlet.
to put Mr. Mime in there.
Yeah, what's the psychic girl and like it's just like a Pokemon in a dress? Yeah.
Right. Jinx?
No, this is like Gen 3, I think.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
4 even. Gardevoir. Turbo Sean knows.
Of course he
Thank you,
does.
Sean. Yeah, everyone. Well, lots of people knew
Oh,
that
boy.
Pokemon's name in chat.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody.
Thank you all very
Let me
much.
check your journals to see what you guys have been writing about.
Yeah, all right. Lossian says, hello, Jets. Hope all is well. I have a $100 Xbox gift card that I got from my father-in-law. Problem is I don't own any Xboxes. I've kept it thinking maybe I would get Series S, but I realistically don't have time for another console. I don't get enough time to play my PlayStation 5 as it is. Any idea of how I can exchange it for PSN or Steam credits? I mean, just if you could find a friend maybe who's planning to eventually spend that much money on Xbox anyways, you could just tell them to buy one of those and trade it. But you could probably use that for PC games. But granted, if you play PC games, you probably want to keep that all on Steam. I understand that.
Yeah. I think, I would probably just make an arrangement with a friend that plays on Xbox. Say, hey, can you buy me this and this on PlayStation as a gift, and then I'll give you this. I mean, I
Or
think
just
that's,
exchange it for cash to somebody.
or just exchange it for cash. But then you're probably gonna have to like take a little bit of a hit. You'll probably have to get like $80 for the
Maybe
$100.
this is an actual friend who's like genuinely is going to essentially spend $100 on Xbox.
That's true. Okay, there you go.
Big Tony says, hey, dogs, or my dogs. I've never played Minecraft before, but after seeing the Mega Man X update, is it worth taking a look? Thanks. Man,
Yes.
I forgot about that already. I need to give that a look.
Yes, that's what we were going to do a quick look of. I was trying to remember this.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to get that. I'll try
okay,
to
let's
get
do
going
that.
on
That'd be fun. You can have a lot of fun with Minecraft. I promise you'll have at least a lot to look at before you decide whether it's for you or not. So yeah, give it a shot. Why not? It's on everything.
Octopath Wolf 5 says, hi, Jeff. Q&A was canceled because Mike's a party animal Grubb. What am I? Rugrat?
That's
Animal.
why I gotta reschedule
Grubb. And Mike, he had one beer Minotti.
that.
I've been playing Octopath 2 and absolutely loving it, but Square has barely even marketed it. It seems to have had a disappointing sales debut in Japan. Gents, why does Square Enix suck? Yeah, I guess I haven't really thought about that. I don't know how strongly it's being marketed, especially at a time where Square Enix could probably lose a hit with Forspoken seemingly performing poorly, Luminous getting just sort of absorbed completely into Square Enix. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. But people seem to be liking it, so hopefully her word of mouth will help there.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know, but it does seem to be. I mean, I would credit it to Square Enix sucking. I think you are not wrong there.
JD Camp says, hello, Mike. Fruit Ninja is a horror game and not eating. And Jeff, Trubbish is my sleep Pokemon Grubb. I got a Pocket for Xmas, and I assume means Analog Pocket, and have been playing through a fan-made translation of Tomato Adventure. I've been looking at a Dragon Ball Z Pokemon fan-made game for the Game Boy Advance. Have you ever played through a fan translation or fan mod? Not really. Like I've done some improvement patches. Like there's one for Mega Man 3 that's really good, and I did that. But no, and there's a lot of like fan translations. Mother 3 is the big one, obviously. But no, I haven't really done too many of those. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the English name of it. It's Kero no Tame ni Kane na Waru, the frog for whom the bell tolls. That's what it is.
Oh, right.
Which is the predecessor to Link's Awakening. Never came out here. There's a fan translation. I got it I was playing on an Analog Pocket. I didn't play through the whole thing, but I played through some of it. That character actually pops up in Link's Awakening, the character you play as in the game. So, yeah, that's the one that I played the most of. I also played Captain Rainbow for the Wii. I played through a couple hours of that. Now I kind of want to like just straight up play that on Giant Bomb, but I'm like trying to think of a good venue or a good show to create around that stuff. But we'll have to wait and see.
Let's see here now. And then Jay Tinch says, woof woof motherfuckers. Any credence to the Central League Switch Pro stuff? I think the part where a Game Freak dev said they are enhancing he said SV. What the hell were they called? Scarlet and Violet for it was perhaps the funniest thing I've ever read. I mean, you think there's something maybe there. I mean, you said that this person got all the details about the Pokemon Presents right before it happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There was a lot of specifics there, and the specifics were, yes, they were in line with what happened. But yeah, I don't blame Jay Tench for laughing at the idea of the Pokemon Company improving Scarlet and Violet or any Pokemon game. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You know, a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I have all the details right." And I heard this from my friend, so I'm just going to add the one thing to get people talking about the Switch Pro again, because I think that's funny as hell. So it could be that.
Exactly. We don't know. Bayleaf Moon says, "Hiya, papaya, bald boys." Wait, hiya, papaya, bald balls boys. There you go. Got it. If one of your friends who wasn't into gaming just bought a Switch, which 5 games would you recommend them to start with? Woof. I mean, Animal Crossing is a big one. That seems to, like, enrapture a lot of people who aren't necessarily gaming fans in general.
Link's Awakening. Mario Odyssey.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, definitely Mario Kart. Everyone likes
Mario. Oh, yeah, Mario Kart, of course.
Maybe
yes.
Mario Party Superstars. How about that?
There you go.
G-Man Sir says, "Hey, Jeff, Ocarina of Time Grubb, and Mike, Zelda CDI, Miss Naughty. I don't want to say, Jeff, that I want to play those games because then you will never let me play them on Play Club, but I kind of want to play those games sometime."
Let me take a look and see how long they are.
Oh, they're not very long.
No, that's the problem. Yeah, I need you to hurt.
Well, you could do both of them back to back, maybe.
All right, I'll think about it.
Well, and if you'll do the,
I think
maybe actually, because Jeff's gonna need a new game at some point.
I don't want to play them.
Oh. All right. I'm currently on the toilet. It made me think of the podcast. Thanks. My question is, what day of the week will you watch the Mario movie now that's been pushed into a Wednesday? Yeah, I said I might go Wednesday night with my brothers. I don't know. You think you're not? I assume you're not going to go until you go with the kids.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna see it for work. So.
Oh, right. That's right. Fuck me.
I think I am. Actually, this might work out better. We might see it. I might see it Wednesday then. So okay. We'll see. I think I might get there. Actually, I think I get there that Tuesday night. So maybe we can go to like a midnight showing. I was thinking about doing some other stuff in town. I was like going to go see some other stuff around that area, but maybe that's what we'll do that night. So yeah, I might see it on Tuesday at midnight if that's a possibility.
Matt Rare Monkey says, "Hey, Mike, Baby Minotti, and Jeff, Sleepy Dog Grub. What Nintendo TV show is the best?" I mean, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, specifically the live action sequences.
Yeah, I think that's what I
mean, what else is there? There's the weird Zelda show that they would.
Well, there's the Kirby anime my kids like. It's weird.
Yeah, I never liked.
I'm with you where the 3D animation that's supposed to look like 2D is actually really off-putting. But those kids fucking love Escargoon, man. Escargoon is S tier in this house.
Okay, that's something.
Yeah, I don't know. If anyone else wants to recommend anything else, Pokemon anime.
There's the incredibly cursed Donkey Kong Country show.
Right. Okay. Yes. Totally.
That is something. There was that F-Zero anime in Japan that we got that one game for.
Yeah.
That sounds like that should rule.
I like the Link cartoon
anime.
that was in Super Mario Brothers Super Show. That was Zelda. Yeah,
there's somebody who completely dubbed Beavis's voiceover Link in that, and it was done incredibly well.
It's really good.
It's very funny. But yeah, Super Show. All right, that's it for the podcast producers. But Jeff, before we get to the last super chats here, what have you been playing? You've been playing. You've been really giving it a go in Minish Cap, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm 2 dungeons into Minish Cap. I was gonna stream some more, and then I got sick, so I've not done that. I got some sleep instead, and that was the right choice. But I'm ready to get back into some more of that. So I think I'm gonna play some more tomorrow night, Wednesday night, on stream. I'm planning to stream the whole game. So kind of hoping.
Well, we're about to find out in like an hour if it's the Game Mess Game Club.
I was gonna say we're this close. I'll just say it. I hope it wins. It'll give me even more reason to keep playing it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and then I'll be part of that conversation. I'm enjoying it. It is. I'm like trying to be fair. I know people really like it. I also am liking it, but it's clearly not as refined as an actual Nintendo Zelda game.
See, I would push back with you on that because it seems to me like the things that are bothering you about it are just the things that were problems with all of the Zeldas from that era. Like, I don't think it's something Capcom was doing.
I feel like it's visual language. The way that it conveys what is happening is not as precise as other Zelda games. But I mean, you're right. This could be negativity bias or confirmation bias of some sort, where I'm just like seeing problems and then being like, well, then this is clearly a problem with Capcom. But it just feels like I'm like, oh, how is this supposed to work? And it takes a little bit longer to work out how it's going to work in this game than it would in other Zelda games. It's not so much longer or such a problem. It's just different. And the big part of that could be that I'm so used to Nintendo's way of doing things that this feels worse. And then in reality, it's not worse. It's just different. But overall, as I continue to play through it, it's like very cool that I'm getting different weapons early on than I would get in other Zelda games. That really works. Yes, you're right. One of the problems is a problem with a lot of the Zelda games at the time. Vati stopping me to talk about stuff and explaining everything. That is a problem I have with it, but that is not unique to this game for sure. It's maybe it's a little bit worse. No, but it's not unique. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. I'm glad I'm playing it, and the dungeons are good. The dungeons are actually really well designed, and that's kind of a big key here. That's keeping me like very entertained. Is that these are good dungeons. So,
and to be clear, like when I think about the game, that is basically all I really think about and remember is how good the dungeons were, and like there's great items in that first dungeon. You automatically get like this wind jar, which actually came back in Skyward Sword. Those are great. In the second dungeon, you get the that rod that flips things, and that's kind of really neat.
It's really good.
That was really cute. I don't want to build up too much, but I think there's like a sky dungeon pretty late in the game that I really love, so I'll be excited when you get to that. Really good. I like the bosses a lot too.
Yes,
in the
they've
dungeon,
been good. So yeah, I'm happily playing through that.
Yeah, and I'm excited to play it again because it has. I last time I played it, the first time I beat it was when I got it on my 3DS as part of the ambassador program.
That right? Yeah.
Yeah. So and I was like, all right, I could finally beat this game, and I did, and it was great. So yeah, but I'll be happy to do it again. Anything else? Yeah,
I mean the Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. It's very good. It is. It is a straight up Kirby game. It's very much about getting your powers and then using those powers occasionally throughout the level to solve a puzzle, usually to get one of the hidden power spheres that is a little bit more difficult than just the typical platforming. But it's fun to get like a cool weapon, and then sometimes you'll get into a special stage where you'll get a more powerful version of that weapon. So you can, instead of just getting the ice power, now you turn into a giant snowball. And you can roll through the level and crush everything, and it's really fun. And then that's for a limited period of time, and then you go back to the regular stage. There's a ton of mini games that are all pretty good. This is from that time on the Wii where like every game was just getting a lot of mini games, and turns out a lot of them still hold up.
I think a lot of those are really just new to this. Even I think like Mary Magalore is a new feature for this one also.
Is Mary Magalore? That feels like I was gonna say that feels like it can't be true because so many of them have motion control, but I guess they could.
I know, but I think I'll double check.
Okay, yeah, I know the Magalore epilogue is definitely new. Yes.
Mary Magoland.
I assume Mary Magdalene was a holdover from the last one. But either way,
it's new. New. It was not in the original.
Man, okay, so they added a ton of new stuff here then, and I think it's a lot of fun actually, and they have built-in local multiplayer. I don't know if it's online. I guess I can check. I could have checked that, but I mean, I was always going to just kind of play it locally, and it works great for that. And then the levels themselves are just pretty fun. There's a lot there. I've gotten through 6 worlds now. I'm in the second the second phase of the thing where like first you do all these worlds on a planet Popstar, and now we're on Magalore's home planet. I'm doing some stages there, and it's just a pleasant game, a fun game to play. I did a quick look today with Dan, so that'll be going up soon if it's not up already. But I'm really happy with it in a way where I was like, I like Forgotten Land. I'm probably gonna feel a little bit like, oh, these games don't quite do it for me. And what I found is, yeah, it's not as good as Forgotten Land is, but it actually is still holding up as a game I am enjoying to play, and I'm going to keep playing.
Are you just playing it by yourself? Or are you doing the because like the 4-player multiplayer was or at least I remember a big selling point of the Wii version. Are you playing it with the kids at all?
I am when they're around and we have nothing else going on and they can, yes. But in order to get ready for the quick look today, I played a bunch last night and then a ton this morning when I woke up at 4:30 and didn't go back to sleep. So in the last couple of days, mostly been playing by myself, but I have been playing with them, and it's pretty good. It's not as sort of obstacle free as the breezy mode in
Star Allies.
But Forgotten Lands, like because they could just explore in that and go off and do things on their own, and then Forgotten Lands just like very easy for them to just go through and they can help each other out. Here it's like a little bit more. If you fall down a pit, Magolor will go. If you have the Magolor mode on, Magolor will pick you up, put you back up. But then it's like they'll see something, they're like, I want to get that thing. How do I get it? And it's actually a relatively difficult puzzle. And so they kind of struggle with it, at least for them. It's like, oh, I have to have a specific power that I could have got earlier in the stage and I just didn't bring it here. And now I need to use it. And when I use it, I need to like execute it right. But that's not the like if I'm there playing with them, all that stuff's not a problem. We're just having a good time. So yeah, it works really well as a multiplayer game. I'm really glad it has it because it's like the kids really want to play all these things together. So this, Star Allies, Forgotten Land have been great, and they all sort of are in this Kirby pantheon on the Switch that we're really happy to have.
Not to go back to Minish Cap, but 148 TZI mentioned in the chat that the director for Minish Cap is the same director as Breath of the Wild.
Right, the people that made Minish Cap are now just the people that make Zelda. Right.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So, yeah, and the Minish were almost in Breath of the Wild, but were cut. I want to see if that's true because I'd love to see what that. I wonder if they would have just been there.
I think I saw artwork for this, right? Yeah, I think there was artwork going around for that.
I wonder if that's another hint that the game is early-ish in the timeline. I know timeline talk is dumb. Yeah, I haven't checked this Kirby game out yet. Honestly, it's not super high on my.
I mean, $60. I don't blame anybody for passing it up. It's like, oh, this is a Wii Deluxe version.
Switch games to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of Switch games to play. I just am very happy that I got the code from Nintendo and I used it, and I'm like actually enjoying it way more than I thought I was going to.
Oh, the Minish appeared in Tears of the Kingdom. I'd be so happy.
Yeah, how about you?
I had another GameCube day. I was playing more Simpsons Hit and Run, which is a lot of fun. Then I gave my audience an option of a few other games to play, and of course they picked the weird Top Gun game that came out for the GameCube. Nobody remembers what's it called? Top Gun Combat Zones.
Okay.
So for some reason, a Top Gun game came out for the GameCube.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't have Tom Cruise, obviously. It doesn't have Highway Danger Zone, of course. It doesn't even have the Top Gun theme with the guitar. So I don't know what we're doing here. And I was like, okay, I guess this is just going to be like an Ace Combat clone. It's actually more of a Rogue Squadron clone.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I almost wish I could tell you it was hilariously bad. It's just basically pretty bland. You're flying around in your jet and it feels okay. Using the R button to accelerate steel feels pretty good, but it's very bland. The levels look awful. I would say that they have Nintendo 64 textures. These days I'll say they have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet textures. Just no detail to anything but the planes, and you just kind of fly around and you find the enemy aircraft and you shoot them down with your homing missiles or your machine guns, or sometimes you have to hit things on the ground. It's completely fine. But yeah, it's there's not much going on there. I wish I could say it was hilariously bad. They had the bones of a good game there, maybe, and there's just not much there. But, I'm gonna look up the game. That'll be good enough for me. I'll just look it up. Yeah, it's interesting that it exists, right?
Yep.
But since beating Metroid Prime, I haven't gone back to Fire Emblem yet because I really am still playing a lot of Theater Rhythm. I think that game is just a ton of fun. Just kind of going through all.
There's a lot titles. There. There's a lot to that game.
There's a lot to it. And yeah, I'm still just unlocking new songs that I'm excited about, and I like the progression system of going through games kind of per title. That's a lot of fun. God, yeah, I'm going to be playing that for a while still. It's super good. But let's get to the rest of the super chats, Jeff.
Yeah, got them right here. Let's head over there, and then I think this first one is from Green Thumbs. Any rumblings on Metroid Prime 4? I'm not sure how much more clown makeup I can apply. It's already caked on pretty thick. Yeah, I mean, Nate the Hate seems pretty confident that it's going to come before the end of the fiscal, so before March. I'm not ready to jump on that, but I also
optimistic.
Yeah, but I think Nate's on a kind of a heater with his Nintendo stuff, so I'm ready to believe him. I'm ready to buy in, but I'll wait and see what I hear. I think it's going to come a little bit earlier than what we're all expecting. I'll say a lot in my mind, a lot of our minds, it feels like, this could be another 2-3 years. I think it'll be
Yeah.
sooner than that.
Okay, because I do feel like that sometimes. I am like not even ready to really think about this game still.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yep. I think it's going to be okay to start thinking about it. From
All right.
Jaguar Gaming Network, he said, "Baby, what?" I said, "Sweet little baby, precious nose holes." I said what I said.
I like it.
From Tyler James Bay, what console had better discs, GameCube or Switch? I'm gonna go with Switch. All right.
I love
Goddamn.
GameCube discs. It's a little annoying how you have to really rip them out of the disc
Oh my
tray,
god.
though.
Yeah,
They
totally.
should have thought of something
They
there.
should have done something there. Absolutely. Then shout out to Uriel Delgado for joining our Lincoln membership tier. Uriel then said, this might have gotten chewed up by Stream Elements. Let me see if it's on the here and actually works well. Let's see here. Uriel
I
Delgado.
see it here. Oh, it looks funny there. Can Black Large Square at least remaster Parasite Eve? Oh, Square.
Square. Can
I get
Square,
it.
right. You can Square at
Can
least remaster
Square-
Parasite Eve. Can't be hard. It probably is pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the expectation, since that's sort of adjacent with the Resident Evils and Silent Hills of that era, you kind of maybe expect a remake that looks like those. Can you justify that for Parasite Eve? I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think it has even as much kind of cachet as Silent Hill does, right? I think it'd be cool. I kind of want to go back and play those games myself, but I don't think they're gonna invest in Parasite Eve.
Right.
in any
Parasite Eve was a
significant way.
novel in Japan, so I think that the rights might also be
Oh,
make it
really?
not worth it. I think so,
Hey,
yeah.
Megami Tensei was a novel in Japan too.
Huh.
You know that? You know that?
I watched
Huh?
I watched a video
Did you
about
know that?
every single Shin Megami Tensei game Tensei game released, and they started off by saying it's a novel, and then they went through. That's how I first found out that Jack Bros was a Shin Megami Tensei game.
There you go.
From let's see, El
Did you
Grog.
learn about my favorite one? Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Ryu Hiyubasha versus King Abaddon, something like that. That's a very long name.
I think I do remember this getting mentioned, but by then I think I had like zoned out. I think I was like mowing my lawn, and I went like, I don't even know what he's saying anymore.
Man, that's one nice thing about winter. I don't
Oh,
have to mow
Jack
my lawn.
Brothers. Yeah, it's
Gonna
Jack
suck.
Brothers. I know. Still, that's just eat shit.
You got a jacket, brother.
Jack, you gotta get Jack, brother. From El Grug. If Dan Riker didn't work at games coverage, what would his job be? Also, is serial killer a job? Dan's not a serial killer. That's Ben Hansen. But
I've been accused of being a serial killer. Like you own a bag of a guy's hair for like 2 months. All of a sudden,
and you have a phobia of
serial
fruit.
killer. Yeah, come on now. You want to fart on children? Give me a break.
That's
These are all
normal
things.
uncle behavior.
Yes, that's all good.
Dan would be like a carny. Not even working wrestling. He'd just be a carny.
His family were grocers. It's hard to imagine him being a grocer though,
Right.
with his distaste for food.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the next time-
He worked at WWE. He would be. I mean, he's done this. I think for smaller federations. He's a manager, like a
Right.
professional wrestling manager, like Bobby the Brain Heenan. He'd be that.
Yes. Slapped Greg Miller, and it was a very good spot that they did. That's the next time I get you and Dan and Snowbike Mike together. We're gonna, instead of talk about food, we're gonna talk about previous jobs, previous employment. So
Okay, I was actually talking to you about some of those because I drove Jeff around my town and I was getting real sentimental. Like this is where I used to work, and we somehow like drove by 2 or 3 places I used to work, just taking you downtown.
let's see. Soysuke, hey Grubb, how about them Bruins, best team in the NHL? I don't want to fucking talk about it. Red Wings.
Somebody in
get
chat said earlier, I think
destroyed.
Aaron Rodgers said he's retiring. So, will that be good for you?
Aaron Rodgers is retiring.
Somebody saed that in chat way earlier.
Don't mess with me.
I didn't. I forgot. I was gonna say it.
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know. Maybe that person lied.
Yeah, that's what I think. That person's messing with me.
Maybe that person was just lying, but he said it.
I think it's. There's no way. If he doesn't retire, he gets $50 million to play
Yeah,
this year.
I googled it,
60
and nothing
million.
came up. So maybe that person was just lying.
It would be very good for me if Aaron Rodgers just went away. Period. But yeah, that does it for the super chats, Mikey. Back to you.
But I think that does it for us then. Everyone, thanks for hanging out. Again, next week, what is your favorite RPG on the Switch? And whatever you think is an RPG, but don't try to be cute. I want you to actually believe in your heart that it's an RPG. So if you're really going to tell me Breath of the Wild, you better actually believe that shit. I won't believe it, but you can go.
You better believe it.
You better believe it. All right, yeah, Jeff. Well, what's going on? Well, we got Blight Club on Thursday, correct?
Yep.
And then there's I think we're doing a GameCube themed Unprofessional Friday.
Yes, you're gonna hang out with us for UPF, so we'll do some GameCube stuff on there. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Game Miss mornings all week. What?
What's our thing for Game Miss Decides on this week?
We'll decide it afterwards, but I think it's probably going to be Benji Bob's game, the Metacritic retro game, and then we'll probably do another draft, 32-bit, 64-bit.
Oh, I'm excited for the draft.
I think that'll be a good time and the right amount of time to spend on that. All right, bye everybody. See you then.
Bye. Is it done? I can't hear the music.
We can hear that.